It's been a long time coming. They ain't cuffing my cloth, they tugging it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, it's been a long time coming. They ain't cuffing my cloth, they tugging it. Putting up numbers, 99 pounds, and I still kept it 100. Yeah, who don't play, 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 play. Who don't play,
music licensing reimagined.
Play, who don't play, 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 play. Who don't play, play, play. Who don't? Long time coming, black on the bottom of my feet from running. Cataracts under my eyes from hustling. Going from buying and selling to customers. Run up the business, God is my witness. Turn up the sun up from under the sun that we maxing the limits. My mind running like Tom Cruise on an action movie. Moving the mission, they say that I'm tripping. I've been told I need a vacation. I'm finessing a visit.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to DFS by the Numbers, and welcome to Stat Diggers for UFC 321. We have Tom Aspinall going against Cyril Gane, and we have a Monday night special. Here, doing the show a day later. I think some of you might be able to kind of put two and two together and figure out why we had to move the show back a day. It wasn't because of a holiday. It wasn't because of a family thing. It was because I had to go see the doctor. Had to go get checked for AIDS because Dan Miragliotta fucked me, and he fucked me raw, and he fucked me hard, and he fucked a lot of the community. But the results came back, and I do have AIDS, so that's the bad news. But the good news is it is not full blown. So I have the AIDS. It's not full blown. Gonna be getting some medication, and was feeling good enough to come do the show tonight. So yeah, push the show back 24 hours, but we're still here doing the show, talking some fights. We have a very good card for UFC 321. Weezy, what is up? Are you looking forward to UFC 321?
Yeah, I don't know if I'm looking forward to betting it because I don't, who knows how they're going to fix the fights this week. But I am looking forward to watching this card. This is up and down. Got a lot of really exciting fights on it, and the main card's sick. So I'm really looking forward to these fights, man. We got Jandiroba and Dern, the rematch. We've got, Giles and Almeida is going up against Alexander Volkov. The main event is a beautiful, beautiful heavyweight fight. So I'm looking forward to this card. It's going to be a good one. It's as far as pay-per-views go, pretty good name value on this card, and the undercard is full of compelling fights that I'm looking forward to breaking down and writing up and finding the bets that stick out, and then just seeing spectacular ways for them not to cash. So it's going to be a fun one to break down. I'm looking forward to breaking it down with everybody here in the chat.
Yeah, I actually changed up my capping process. Over the weekend, I now got to cap into who's getting hit by cars, whose locker rooms are getting painted, who's showing up with broken hands, injuries. I got to cap. Now when I'm picking fights, I'm actually going to pick 3 different methods. I'm going to pick fighter A to win by first round knockout, second round submission, and by decision. I'm going to pick every method because why not? Because these fighters are winning by every single method nowadays. So yeah, just kind of had to change up the capping process there, and kind of just got to go with the flow. I mean, if we're gonna allow things like this to happen, you can't just fight it. You got to kind of go with it. All right. I say before we get into the recap, we will do a quick run through the chat. I did post a who needs help. I really could have put just one option because I think it's really not going to be close. But we got Dan Miragliotta up top. We got Reiner de Ritter. And I put Kevin Holland. I don't know. I just had to throw another name on there. But yeah, I mean, I really could have only put one name and we would have been fine. But you have to do at least 2 to get a pull on there. So I had to put at least 2. We got Elijah in the building. Let's go. War Volkov. Can't wait for that heavyweight fight. We got Jeff K saying, Brady, I've heard you say things like this card took years off my life before. Now I finally get what you mean. I get it. What the effing F was that? Get some help, Big Dan. And I've had some bad beats. I've had some things that really upset me throughout the years. But what happened over the weekend was probably the closest I've ever had to, I don't know, just ending up in a mental hospital. I mean, it was ridiculous. It was very bad. And that's why we didn't do the show Sunday. If we did the show Sunday, the show would have probably got taken off of YouTube. I probably would have got arrested with some of the stuff that would have came out of my mouth. I wanted to stay off of YouTube for the day because some of the language that I would have proceeded to use Sunday night it wouldn't be fitting the YouTube guidelines. So I had to take that day off, and I'm still recovering from it. We got Brandon saying, dude, I've lost bets on Hail Marys, half-court shots, Jason Herzog, etc. But Frevola Nelson fight doesn't get the decision. It was the worst betting loss of my life. Get some help, Dan Murgliata. Yeah. Does anyone know what's wrong with DraftKings? I went to bed after Nelson knocked out Frevola, and for some reason they're grading my under 1.5 as a loss. That's weird because as far as I'm concerned, he did knock out Matt Frevola, TKO round 1, 3 seconds to go. We got Dixon Sider in the building. Braden Weezy, if you or a loved one were affected or injured, punching a TV after the recent actions of the referee, the big tan Dan Murgliata, you might be entitled to compensation. I would love some compensation after what happened to me on Saturday. Also, what the F was with Nelson actively avoiding the finish in the third. I mean, it was a fixed fight. I mean, it's simple as that. The Vegas needed. I don't know anybody that was betting the over in that fight. Like, who would bet an over in a Matt Frevola, Kyle Nelson fight? Money came in on the under all week. They clearly needed the fight to go the distance. It was about as fixed fight as you've ever seen, and they're not even trying to hide it anymore. They're literally not trying to hide it. The fight was finished in the first, and Kyle Nelson. I mean, Matt Frevola was about to just topple over, and then for some reason, Kyle Nelson clinched him up, and that was almost the end of me when that happened. It was bad. We got Dan Murgliata. You have a problem with me? I bet you won't say it to my face. Dan, I swear to God on everything I love, I would say it right to your face, Dan. I swear to God I would say it to your face.
You would lose that bet, Dan. Not like you lost the bet, didn't lose the bet, on the fight goes for the Mallet fight, and for the Nelson fight. I definitely say it to your face.
I would say it right to your. I mean, there's no doubt. There's no doubt in my mind. I would.
It'd be one of the great opportunities of both of our lives to have the opportunity to express our displeasure to this man's face about how he fixed that fight right out in the open with the commission.
Yeah. I would have some choice words for Dan Murgliata, that's for sure. Kyle Nelson by decision, easiest bet of the year. There you go. He also hit him a lot by decision as well. I wonder if he parlayed those two together. There's some nice odds there. Dan, how come you were checking your Bet365 app in the back? Yeah, there was a media outlet, and they were clearly joking, but a media outlet came out and said that Dan Murgliata was found after the fight checking his Bet365 app in the back room, and a lot of people believed it too. Oh gosh. Brown Belt Dave saying, was wondering if Brady and Weezy would be on the Get Some Help poll for going 0-3 last week, the milking, the parlay, the piping. We'll get to that. But I mean, you guys voted for the piping. I mean, we made a poll, and the poll winner was Danny Barlow. We can't possibly take responsibility for the poll picking the piping, right?
Yeah, I mean that's on them. And and personally, I blame the fighters for screwing us out of the parlay.
Yeah,
and screwing us out of the milking. That's not my fault that Danny Barlow couldn't beat Jordan Santos. You can't put that on me.
Yeah.
And what was the milking? RDR was he getting his butt milked on the turlet with fucking norovirus? So you're gonna put that on us? Come on, man. We got to dominant positions in rounds 1, 2, and 3 against a guy with 44% takedown defense, and when it was a predictable result, if he was able to actually grapple to the level that he normally does, but not. I guess not when you have norovirus. So I don't know. I don't even know if that's true.
I don't think that one was true.
He was sick, I mean, I felt like something was up all week because it felt like all the cappers that I listened to were on RDR. And, it also felt like the line didn't move all week. And I'll tell you one thing. I got to get it off my chest. DraftKings always has this script. If there's a script to be had, DraftKings has it. Every fucking time, Brady. I'm literally every time DraftKings has the best line on something that a bunch of people are betting all week, you can fucking bet that is not going to happen. Dude, every time, dude. Joel Alvarez inside the distance was minus 300 to 350 everywhere. DraftKings hanging a fat minus 250 all week. They were hanging minus 198 on Renier de Ritter when everybody else had him at minus 220. And that line didn't budge all week. The DraftKings like, hey, let's just put the best market out there and take all your Renier de Ritter money because we actually poisoned him with norovirus and we know he's going to lose. So, yeah, dude, it's crazy, man. I like DraftKings. Like, that's going to be something I'm going to start playing, actually. Oh, wow, DraftKings is hanging the best line. Well, they're fixing the fight, so I'm betting the other way.
Like we were talking about, like, isn't UFC sponsored by DraftKings? Isn't that the official
sportsbook? It sure is. And you know, another thing that's hilarious. Every time, Brady, DraftKings posted a bettor posted a $70,000 bet on Fighter A. Fighter A is gonna lose. They always do that before the fight, like. Oh, a big bet was placed on this fighter, and like they try to get other people to tail it because they know that it's going the other way. It's amazing, dude.
It is amazing.
Oh, and by the way, the what are they? They do those promo bets, you know, where they'll put like somebody at minus 300, and they'll be like, "Oh, we'll give them to you at plus 100." Oh boy, that guy's now got a 100% chance of losing. Israel Adesanya against Sean Strickland was put like DraftKings like, hey, we'll give him to you at plus 100. Dude, he was minus 250.
Yep, that one got me.
Conor McGregor versus Dustin Poirier, not once but twice. You could get Conor at plus 100 when his money line was at minus 300. These guys know the script, and there's no doubt about it.
Raking in a bunch of money, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Jazovich needs to get help with their glass. I don't think she has a glass chin.
No.
But yeah, that was a really weird, like, never thought in a million years that would happen. Mergliotti had no problem stopping that one.
Yeah.
Stopped that one. Probably money was coming on the over there. We got Dawes saying a day late is super late. No, we're right. We're right on time. Yeah. We got Fluffy Hernandez saying Dan needs some effing help. I mean, I couldn't agree more. I missed you fellas. I know the show's about to be hilarious. Fluffy would have done RDR. Oh my gosh. Could you imagine what happened if that Fluffy RDR fight happened?
No, I mean, like it's kind of like Khabib versus Tony Ferguson. You know, where I mean, like everybody was they tried to make that fight 4 different times. It fell off every time. You know, like there were people on both sides. Both people had really good arguments on what was going to happen. And then you saw, like, you know, Khabib retires. And then Fluffy or Tony goes out there and just gets dominated by Dariush and Charles Oliveira on the mat. And then everyone's like, oh, my God, dude. You know, Khabib would have 50-40 for him. You know, it would have been just an absolute ass kicking.
It would have been bad.
Yeah.
It would have been very, very bad. We got Devin Brown in the building. What is up? Don't forget to hit the like button. Agreed. Let's see if we can get 100 likes. I mean, I know it's a Monday, not our typical time slot, but we got a big card. See if we can get 100 likes by the time we get out of here. Captain Brady Pereira. No, it's actually the Dan Mergliotta captain's hat. I know he's on a yacht right now eating pretty good, him and his buddies. At least take me out to dinner first, Dan. Yeah, I mean, it was brutal fucking. I mean, if there was ever a piping, it was what Dan Mergliotta did to me Saturday night.
Yeah.
RDR, what a CNT. Probably can't say that word on YouTube. I actually tweeted that word on Twitter. I think that was the first time I've ever, tweeted a word that vulgar after the Dan Mergliotta fight. I think I said something along the lines of Dan Mergliotta, you are a CNT. Because he is. I mean, no doubt about it. I mean, he's that word. Me and Keith Peterson grabbed the drink and took a ride on Michelle Pereira's yacht. I bet you did, Dan. I bet you did. Aspinall by round 2. I can dig it. We got Mike Rocock in the building with the $20 dono saying, I accidentally bet 5 units fight to go to decision. I swear I clicked fight to not go to decision in the Holland Malott fight. These winnings aren't mine. I donated to the Boy Scouts, St. Jude, and now a dono to my favorite cappers, Handsome Brady and my Uncle Wheezy. Shout out to Mike Rocock. That has to be a really good feeling. Betting something you didn't expect to bet and then it coming through, and especially the way it did in that fight, must have been a great feeling. Mike Rocock, appreciate you for the dono, man. You ever twist your balls? I don't believe I have.
Nope.
No, I don't believe I have. We got another dono, Limbo Sosa with the $4.99 saying Brady subscribing to the Jandiroba OnlyFans after his bets cash. I might have to subscribe right now with this dono. I'm assuming her OnlyFans might be maybe only $4.99. I don't see why she'd make it any more expensive. I mean, because if she did, it just wouldn't be worth it. But yeah, appreciate you, Limbo, for the $4.99. The UFC really is fixed. It's really, I mean, we've seen it a lot the last couple of weeks. I mean, they're not even trying to hide it. Like, at least try to hide it a little bit, right?
Mhm.
Like, at least try to hide it just a little bit. Brady, how do we navigate the fixed UFC betting lines going forward? I don't know. It's tough. You know, you never know. You never know. Verna and does she actually have an OnlyFans?
I mean, I don't think so, dude.
Let me take a
I
look.
certainly don't. I mean, who would even know? You know?
OnlyFans. Let's take a look. No, she don't have an OnlyFans.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
Come on.
Probably a good career move.
Right. We got Forrest Daniels in the building. I talked to my friend who is a professional MMA referee, Blake Grease, and he said really good referees are being overworked, and that is the big part of the Tan Dan situation. Dan had no business in Canada. Yeah, I mean, there can be a lot of factors going into it. It's just kind of an excuse. There's no excuse for really what happened. We got Mike James reposted the stream. Appreciate if you guys are watching on X, don't be afraid to repost the stream. It does help out, get the word out there. Like I said, we're going we typically go Sunday, going Monday here. We got Kiampi.
Yep.
Kiampi with the $1 dono. Shout out Kiampi. Appreciate you, Kiampi. Pretty much sponsoring the show tonight. Shout out to Kiampi there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We got another dono from Kiampi saying, what on effing earth is Blanchfield's chin made of? I mean, I always thought Jasmine has a good chin. I still think she does. It's just a really weird situation. But yeah, Blanchfield, another very durable fighter. Shout out Kiampi there. Aspinall in 2. These are the breakdowns I come for. There you go. All right. So what? So I wouldn't want to have sex with Verna Jandiroba. I mean, that's ridiculous. All right. Okay. Let's recap the atrocity of UFC Vancouver. So yeah, first and foremost, we already brought up a little bit. The parlay crashed and died. I don't even remember what it was, but I know it didn't hit. Do you remember what it was?
Yeah, I gave out Fioro. You gave out Barlow.
Oh,
and I thought Barlow had it in the second round. Like, dude, he was knocking Santos all over the cage.
Yeah.
And Santos just ate it all. Like, it was nothing. And then he just starts coming back, man. That was a wild, like, tale of two halves fights, because Barlow won the first half of the fight, but then
no. Two judges gave Santos the first. That's what cost Barlow the fight.
What?
Yeah, you heard that correctly. 2 judges gave Santos the first round. I know.
He didn't win that first round. Oh my God. So that's why we lost the parlay?
Yeah, because you got to get Barlow the second. He was wobbling all across the cage.
Yeah, I agree. And Barlow, I mean, like, it certainly wasn't a 10-8 because Barlow was kicking the shit out of him in the first half of the second round too.
Yeah.
So very close second round, actually, but Santos finished it strong, so he probably gets it. But now I thought Santos won the third, but then maybe they gave Barlow, a couple of them gave Barlow the third.
Yeah, they I believe 2. I think all 3 gave Santos the third, and then I think 2 of the judges gave Santos the first round. So it all came down to the first round, pretty much.
Okay, got it.
But yeah, that's kind of weird. We got Fat Barnett in the building. What is up, Fat Barnett?
Let's go.
And then so that also killed off the piping of the week, which again you guys voted for. But with that said, though, our next option would have probably been like Bakayev or something, which Bakayev lost to. So yeah, the piping was unsuccessful. Danny left hand to God. He landed that left hand. I mean, he landed a big shot on Santos, and Santos got rocked and kind of just ate it. But Barlow unfortunately lost. And then this has to be the worst milking pick of all time. I mean, it doesn't get any worse than this. And I don't know what the other milking option would have potentially. The other milking option would have been
like maybe Bakoyev, if we thought that Bakoyev was going to kind of take him down and work him.
Yeah, other
Milk
option
'em.
probably would have been Bakoyev. So I mean, it was just a rough week for the piping, rough week for the milking, rough
Yeah.
week for the parlay. So we got to get it back, guys. All right. So quick recap. And yeah, as you guys can guess, if you guys have been, on my Twitter, I've been posting nonstop about Dan Miragliotta, and rightfully so. My night came down to the Matt Frevola, Kyle Nelson fight. Had that fight finish, winning night. Had it not finish, losing night. And I had 2 units total on the under 2.5 rounds. I actually doubled down on the under 2.5 later in the week. Got some nice CLV there. And yeah, I don't know what else to say other than, I mean, I'm watching the fight, and Kyle Nelson rocks Matt Frevola very badly in the first round. The fight gets down to the mat, and then he starts unloading with some ground and pound, and it's very vicious ground and pound. It's not like these shots aren't getting through. I mean, the shots are getting through. They're getting through very hard, and he's pretty much just bouncing Frevola's head off the canvas, at least 4, 5, 6 times. Like, the fight could have and should have probably been stopped even sooner than it was stopped, but Dan Miragliotta finally stops the fight with 3 seconds left. And I'm excited because, my night came down to that fight. I needed the fight to finish, and I got the finish. So I jump up, I run into the other room, I celebrate a little bit. I talk to the wife, I talk to the kid, and I'm like, yeah, I just cashed a nice bet. And we're all celebrating. And then I walk back to the TV to grab my phone, and I hear, wait, what's going on? And they're restarting the fight. And I'm just like, no. It's like a fever dream. It's like, no, how is this happening again? How is this happening to me again? 3 times in the last 4 weeks where the fight's been stopped and the fight has resumed, and it's got me all 3 times. And it's like, you can say, oh, Neil Magny wasn't out. That's fine. It should have been no contest. Okay, whatever. He wasn't out. That's fine. And then you can say, oh, the ref stopped the Luque fight. It was a legal strike. He called it off. He brought in it was a weird situation, whatever. That was bad, but the fight was stopped with 3 seconds left. I mean, you look at the replay, Dan steps in. I mean, it's inexcusable. It makes no sense. I sent the clip of the finish over to, some friends and family, and they're like, what the heck? Like, that's a finish. Like, it's common sense. Like, where is the commission? Where is where is everybody? What, like, usually they have like a couple extra refs, like a Herzog over there, watching, and where are those guys? I mean, it just makes no sense that nobody jumped in the commission. It made no sense that Kyle Nelson continued to fight. I thought that was really dumb. Like, Kyle Nelson or his team should have said something like, let's take a look at the replay. And by the way, why didn't they take a look at the replay? They were using replay all night. It's not like they didn't have it. They were using replay for, all the groin strikes throughout the night. Why not replay a very important fight or a very important part in the fight? It just made absolutely no sense. So I'm like in complete shock. It's like it was a clear as day finish. I mean, I've never seen anything like it. And then the fight continues, and then I'm sitting there like pissed off, like beyond belief. And then in the 3rd round, Kyle Nelson hurts Matt Frevola very badly. Like, Matt Frevola is about to topple over and get finished, and then Kyle Nelson clinches him, and that was the last straw. I was yelling very vulgar language at the television. Some words that I said, I mean, they cannot be repeated on. They can't go anywhere near the stream and anywhere near YouTube. And I was yelling loud. I mean, I'm surprised the neighbors didn't call the cops at some of the names I was calling Kyle Nelson. And I pretty much almost had a mental breakdown. I walked out of the house barefoot, and I just kept walking. And I didn't stop walking. I walked probably an hour. Just, I don't know where I was at. I'm just completely pissed. I've never been so pissed off in my life. I mean, this can't keep happening to me. Winning bet or losing bets that I win. How does that make sense? I keep losing bets that I'm winning 3 times in the last. I mean, that's over a 10-unit swing for me. 3 times in the last 4 weeks. So I cool down. Kinda. I mean, I don't really cool down, but I kind of cool down. I missed the Jourdain Grant fight because I was out walking. I missed the Fiora Jasmine fight because I was out walking. And then I missed the Zahabi Vera fight because I was out walking. I returned from my long walk with no shoes. I mean, I was walking past people. People were probably looking at me like I'm an idiot. No shoes, completely barefoot. I walked back into the house, and okay, Mike Malott, Kevin Holland's about to start. Great. I have the under 2.5 rounds. I got some nice CLV. feeling, decent about it. And then, Kevin Holland drops Malott in the first round, doesn't get the finish. Malott lands a groin strike, and they resume action. And then Mike Malott lands a very big groin strike in the clinch. And then Kevin Holland, I mean, is the weirdest. Guess who's reffing again, by the way? Dan Mergliotta. And by the way, they let him back in there after the for Vola Nelson fight to ref the Jasmine fight. But Mergliotta's in there, and Kevin Holland takes up the full 5 minutes. Like, we don't see that too often. Kevin Holland took up the full 5 minutes, and after the 5 minutes has reached, Dan's like, Kevin, can you fight? And Kevin doesn't say a word. Kevin doesn't say a word. He doesn't say, yes, I can fight. No, I can't fight. He doesn't say one word besides, touching his balls, jumping up and down type thing. And Dan forces Kevin to fight. After 5 minutes, it's probably actually closer to 6 minutes by the time it's all said and done. The fight continues, and Kevin Holland is clearly compromised, limping around the cage. The first round ends. Okay. And then they bring in the doctor. The doctor checks out Kevin Holland. And the doctor says to Dan, he says, he can't defend himself. Kevin Holland, he can't defend himself. And then Dan's like, Kevin, can you continue to fight? And Kevin Holland doesn't say a word. He's grabbing at his balls. He doesn't say one word. He doesn't say yes. He doesn't say no. And then Dan makes him fight. It's like, come on. That's how I'm going to lose an under. The fight probably should have been a no contest. The fight probably should have been a DQ or a TKO win for Malott because Kevin Holland couldn't answer the bell. I mean, he said he couldn't. He didn't say he couldn't fight, but he didn't say he could fight. But Dan kind of forced him to fight. And then Mike Malott proceeded to just do jack shit the last 10 minutes of the fight. So, yeah, that was annoying. And then to make matters worse, I had the fight doesn't go to decision in a parlay for the RDR Allen fight. That came through. And then I also had the under 3.5 in the Allen fight. And literally all Allen had to do in the second or third round, all he had to do, just stand up. Mm-hmm. Stand up, Allen. You win by TKO because DeRitter can't get up. He literally can't get up. So somehow, with DeRitter completely death-gassed after the second round, the fight reaches the fifth round. My under 3.5 rounds, it doesn't hit. It misses by 2 minutes and 30 seconds because Allen didn't simply stand up. Make him stand up. He would have won by TKO. So, but yeah, night came down to the Nelson Frevola fight. I hit the under 2.5 rounds, but I didn't actually because Dan Mergliotta stopped the fight and then said, never mind. I think his excuse was bullcrap as well. They came on and talked about his excuse and said he couldn't hear. Like, what the fuck do you mean you couldn't hear, Dan? How about you go? Why are we letting a guy that can't hear in the cage? That's not a guy I want to be reffing these fighters. A guy that can't hear, hearing's important. And no shade to any deaf people out there. I mean, there's nothing's wrong with being deaf and being hard of hearing. But if you're hard of hearing, you probably shouldn't be a ref, right? Am I crazy to say that?
No, I mean, no, that's not. There's nothing controversial about that take.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean that card, and I say it, here and there, jokingly, but that card literally took years off my life. I swear it did. I literally took probably 5 to 10 years off my life. Say I was going to die like 85, 90. I'm now going to die at like 80, 75, 80-ish range. So thanks, Dan Mergliotta, for taking like 5 years off my life.
Yeah. I mean, it's frustrating how out in the open it is, because when I was watching that, my thought is that, if I'm on the commission, right? If I'm one of these, if I'm there, cage side doing replay, if I'm in charge of the commission, like the second that they close the octagon door and look like they're going to start it up again in the second round, I'm going and opening up that octagon door. And if it's locked, I'm literally climbing the fucking fence.
Yeah.
And I'm saying, the fight's over. The fuck are you doing? And then I would make them give me the microphone. And then in front of the 25,000 fans, I would fire fucking Dan Mergliotta right out in front of everybody and be like, you're never fucking judging another fight in my country and in my province ever again for literally trying to fix a fight out there in wide open. And let me tell you something, man. Yeah. It wasn't even Dan. Somebody made him do it, Brady.
Oh.
Somebody had to have made him do it because there are checks and balances in place to make sure that kind of shit doesn't happen, that a fight doesn't get stopped with 3 seconds left in the round and then the ref just decides to go out there and start it up again. That's why you have a replay official. That's why you have a commission. That's why you have other judges sitting cage side to make sure that those kind of mistakes don't happen. But when you're one of these referees and they tell you, hey, this fight needs to go over 1.5, this fight needs to go the distance, you do what you're told. And you want to know how it was an incompetence, Brady? You want to know how?
How?
Because he reffed 2 more fights that night.
Yeah, crazy.
You know, I mean, like, that's all you need to know. What happened to Vyacheslav Kisiev when he let fucking Benoit Saint-Denis almost die in the cage? What happened to him? Right? He was in a Siberian gulag. Less than 12 hours later, he was escorted out of the arena, Brady. You remember Dave Shellstad, who came in? Remember he reffed the Gilton, or it was Almeida, not Gilton Almeida, the other Almeida, the kickboxer, against Ihor Peterier, the guy that every time Peterier put him in the clinch, he pulled him out of the clinch and started the fight up, and it looked like he was doing cocaine in the ring. Like, because his jaw, he was chewing an invisible piece of gum, and he was like looking manic. After that performance, they escorted him out of the fucking arena, Brady.
Yeah.
They said, no more. If you're gonna fuck up in the octagon that badly, we're kicking you out. We're not letting you ref any more fights. Dan Murgliata is getting the shit boot out of him because he got 2 more fucking assignments on the main card, Brady.
Terrible.
Jazz Davicius Firo is a fucking title eliminator. They let him fucking judge that fight after the biggest screw up ever. We can't find anyone else. Dude, everybody knew it. Everybody knew it. They just fixed it right out in the open. Right out in the open. And the reason you know that the commission was involved is because they let him back out there. It's all you need to know.
Yep.
And then it happens again in the mallet fight, and there aren't other people walking into the cage going, hey, Dan, he never said he wanted to fight. He's been sitting over here for 5 minutes after getting his nuts twisted up, and he doesn't want to fight anymore. It's a fucking no contest, or you call it a DQ. It's the only 2 acceptable ways for that fight to end. Well, Brady, I've been talking about how I wanted to cash a shit bet.
There you go.
Why can't I cash a shit bet? You know, I mean, like, all these other people are out here cashing shit bets. Why can't Uncle Weezy cash a shit bet? 3/4 of a unit, Mike Mallet by decision at plus 410. Cha-ching, baby. I did it. I did it. I got one. I finally fucking got one. So that felt pretty good. I hit that bet. I had my dog of the week was Bruno Silva. We talked about it here last week that I just wasn't a believer in Hyun-Sung Park. I had 1.5 units on his money line at plus 200. I had 1 unit on his finish only prop at plus 215. I hit the Mallet by decision prop. I had 1 unit on the Marlon Vera money line plus 115. I felt like that was a pretty good bet. I thought he won the fight, but you got to do more in Canada, to win a decision against a Canadian. And in typical Marlon Vera fashion, he did everything that infuriates bettors about Marlon Vera. He went out there and hurt him in the second round, dropped him, and then did absolutely nothing for the next 2 minutes. All the bullshit talk about how I'm sprinting now instead of running marathons, so I'm going to get off to a fast start. My fucking ass. He started just as slow as normal and showed his usual complete lack of urgency, and then bitched about the result. I had money on him, and like when they were reading that decision, I'm like, there's no fucking way that he's winning this in Canada against Zahabi, because Zahabi, even though he clearly lost the second round and rounds 1 and 3 were 50-50, you would have think that, Vera would get the decision, but not in Canada, man. So that was one I thought I should have won, but I lost it. I had a half unit on Bakoyev to win by decision because I thought he would be able to get takedowns and top time against Belguri. Belguri looked phenomenal. That was a great play there. I lost 1 unit on Rainier to Ritter to win inside the distance. Rainier also tanked my probability parlay this week. So yeah, the Rainier to Ritter thing was just weird. Like I said, I had a feeling that when that line didn't move all week, but everybody I knew and respected was on RDR, that I was like, shit, man, something's going on. He's going to lose this fucking fight. And DraftKings was hanging the best line too. So I'm like, somebody knows something, and Brendan's going to win this one. And, and the fight played out exactly like I thought it would. I was like, Rainier's going to be able to get takedowns and get to a dominant position whenever the fuck he wants. And that's exactly what happened. He rinsed him in the first round, got to a dominant position in the second and got reversed, got to a dominant position in the third and got reversed, and then he quit. So I thought he'd be able to win that fight, but I was really pretty surprised by the performance. And I'd like to know what actually was going on behind the scenes with RDR, because he clearly wasn't himself out there. And then I had to stop the violence parlay, where I lost on 2 overs that I just was not expecting to lose. I was not expecting Manon Fiorot to knock out Jasmine Jasudavicius. That over didn't hit. And then I was not expecting Charles Jourdain to go out there and violently finish Davy Grant in the fashion that he did. What a performance by Charles Jourdain, man. That was phenomenal. Great. I mean, like, finishing a veteran like Davy Grant and like that was a very impressive performance. So I finished up 3.73 units. It was nice to cash a shit bet for once, but that was a disaster in terms of PR for the sport, in terms of gambling integrity. And, like I say, if anything that blatant happened with like a James Krause type of situation. I mean, remember what they did to Krause, dude? I mean, we've talked about this before.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
The feds were investigating that for fucking 18 months. They ruined Jeff Molina's career. They ruined James Krause's career for getting a steakhouse bet on one fight, Brady. These commission guys, they do it out in the open every single week, and there will never, ever be an investigation into the fights that they fix, because that's part of their business model. They're a self-regulatory agency, and unless the feds come in and say, hey, we want to see what's going on with this, like, how could you allow this kind of incompetence from your referee? And you know what makes it even worse, the Murgliata thing with the Kyle Nelson fight, was that with 8 seconds left in the round, a guy who's been knocked out violently 4 fucking times in the UFC, his head was bouncing off the goddamn canvas, Brady.
Oh, yeah.
That was a fight that had to be stopped for the safety of Matt Frivola, who has had too many knockouts already. That young man's head was bouncing off the canvas, and fucking Murgliata let it happen because someone told him, one of his bosses told him, hey, we need this fight to go over. And not only did it cost the bettors who had the right side some money, it might have cost fucking Matt Frivola some serious brain health as well. Because then he had to go out there and fight on autopilot after being violently knocked out in the first round for another 10 minutes. And take how much more damage, Brady? So it's fucking disgusting. It's disgusting that these guys get away with fixing fights in broad daylight, and then they go and they put fucking people like Krause and Molina in the gulag. It's such a double standard, and it's such bullshit.
Yeah, no accountability either. Nobody's going to come out and say, like, we're not going to get an interview from Murgliata. Like, we're not going to get the commission come out and say anything. It's just going to move on to next week. We'll see Murgliata in, where are they at? Abu Dhabi?
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if they're going to fly him out there. They're probably going to put him in a fucking bunker for about a month, like they did with Herzog after the Muhammad Yahya fight, and then they'll let him be. But he'll be right back out there. We saw Mr. Move Fighter in the octagon last night. Or no, it wasn't last night. Now it's 2 nights ago. I'm so used to saying last night on Stat Tiggers.
Yeah. So yeah, there you have it. That was UFC Vancouver, aka the card that almost put me into a mental hospital. There we go. If I lose another bet that I win, I mean, I'm probably gonna hang him up, right? Like I that can't happen again. 3 times in the last four weeks. I can't take it.
I was most proud of the fact that I had no money on that fight, and that was just luck. That was just pure luck.
Yeah. Which is crazy. It's insane. But all right, let's get to the see who needs to get some help. So, all right. In third place, 138 votes, by the way. In third place, we have Kevin Holland with 6%. In second place, we have Renier de Ritter at 30%. And then in first place, you guessed it, Dan Miragliotta with 64%. There you have it. Dan Miragliotta, you need to get some help.
Yeah, and I'd like to know who gave him that order.
Yeah.
You know, that's how I know. Because, like, if I was commissioner, like I said, I would have fired him on the mic. I would have been like, Cormier, give me the fucking mic. He would have passed it through. You're fucking fired, Miragliotta. Get Herzog in here. And don't fuck this one up like you fucked up the Yaya fight, Herzog. And I'd be like, I'm watching all you pricks.
Somebody needs to figure it out. We can't let this keep happening. I mean, it's not good. It's not good for the sport.
I was watching the fight, Brady, and like I said, I was just so happy that I didn't have money on it. But while it was happening, I go, they're not going to do this again. I just started saying, they're not going to do this again. I was alone talking to myself. Like, how could they do this again? Are they really starting up this fight? And even Cormier sitting, he goes, I think they're going to try to start up this fight. This fight's over. They can't start this fight up. You know, I mean, it's just unbelievable.
Stupid. Like, it's stupid. It's literally stupid.
Yeah.
But I do have a rap prepared for tonight. As you guys know, I did the Boats and Hose, Michelle Pereira, a couple months back. I was going to do a remix of that, but I wanted to keep it fresh. This rap is called Danny Merg. Danny Merg. Here we go. Here we go. Yo. All right, here we go. Shout out Danny Merg. Dan Miragliotta, this one's for you. Go get your hearing checked, bitch. Yo, it's Danny Merg. I said, bitch. It's Danny Merg. Didn't stop the fight. What did you observe? Still got paid, though. Ain't that absurd? Here we go. I'm going to break it down for you guys. Cash the over 1.5 and fight goes. Still got a job despite my woes. Betting on fights, hope no one knows. How else am I affording all these hoes? It's Danny Merg, bitch. You know the name. Not betting on fights. That's very lame. Made a fortune on that Nelson fight. I had to, man. Them finances tight. Also threw bread on Mike Malott. Praying to God that I don't get caught. Kevin Holland got kicked right in the cock. Couldn't take a point. I need him a lot. Yeah, I'm crooked. I'm corrupt. It's true. But fixing fights is what I love to do. Bet you wish you could fix fights too. What did you say? I can't hear you because it's Danny Merg. I said it's Danny Merg. Didn't stop the fight. What did you observe? I said it's Danny Merg. Hey, it's Danny Merg. I said, bitch, it's Danny Merg. Didn't stop the fight. What did you observe? I said it's Danny Merg. Can't hear you, bro. My hearing's impaired. Did the beat go off? Well, I didn't hear. No, seriously. Did the beat go off? Hello? What? Huh? Huh? What again? What? I can't hear you. I can't hear you. Danny Merg. Hey.
Danny Merg.
Shout out Danny Merg.
What?
Shout out Danny Merg. There we go. And we got a
Merg.
retweet from City Boy. Reposted the stream. Appreciate you that. We got Fort Cod Minecraft, a true legend of our era. Appreciate you, Fort Cod Minecraft, with the 199. But with all that out of the way, guys, we got to get into some fights. We're 45 minutes in. Enough with this bum ass bitch, Danny Merg. All right. First fight of the night. We have Jacqueline Amorim going against Mizuki Inoue. We got Jacqueline Amorim, 30 years old, 5'3" with a 67.5-inch reach. Mizuki Inoue, 31 years old, 5'3" with a 65-inch reach. We got Amorim 1 year younger. We got same height there. We got Amorim with a 2.5-inch reach advantage. Amorim is 4-1 in her last 5 fights. Decision loss to Sam Hughes. Knockout win against Montserrat Ruiz. Submission win against Corey McKenna. Submission win against Vanessa Demopoulos. And a submission win against Pauliana Viana. As far as Mizuki Inoue, 3-2 in her last 5 fights. She won a split decision against Yanan Wu, who, by the way, did we ever find out if she's affiliated with the Wu-Tang Clan or no, not yet?
Not affiliated with the Wu-Tang Clan. That's a negative. That is a fake news type of thing that was getting passed around to hopefully try to get people a better price on her opponents.
Okay, makes sense. But she beat her by split decision. She lost to Amanda Lemos by decision, and then she beat Hannah Goldie by decision. So yeah, this fight doesn't really make a ton of sense to me at all. I mean, the fact that Mizuki Inoue is coming back in here doesn't make a ton, because I remember that Yanan Wu fight. I mean, that was a very long time. I think I was still in college during that fight. Like, that fight was 6 years and 1 month ago, and I think it was the card where it was like the overnight card, maybe in China or something, where I actually missed most of the fights. But yeah, 6 years ago at this point against Yanan Wu. She lost against Amanda Lemos. That was 5 years ago. And then she hasn't fought in 2 years, and it was against Hannah Goldie. And now she's taken on Jacqueline Amorim. Is just a very bad matchup for Mizuki Inoue. I mean, Jacqueline Amorim training at American Top Team, and we got to mention it. I mean, these fighters that are, you could even take a bum like the Jordan Santos, right? Yeah. Take him and fly him out to Florida, and you'll get that guy winning fight. I mean, American Top Team this year has been by far and away the hottest gym. That South Florida sun is doing wonders for these fighters, and that South Florida sun is doing wonders for Jacqueline Amorim. Very strong, solid wrestling, incredible BJJ, really good ground and pound. The cardio would be like the one thing, like we saw in the Sam Hughes fight, but yeah, she looked really good in the Viana fight late in that second round. She looked really good against Montserrat Ruiz, second, third round. So I think she's still making improvements. She's still getting better. And it's like, where's Mizuki Inoue been? Like, what's she been up to? Like, is she even a real fighter? Like, is this even a real fight? Because it doesn't really feel to me like this is a real fight. So I like Amorim. She's a massive favorite, but I feel like the line could probably even be wider. It's like she's going to take Inoue down. Inoue, I've seen her taken down so many times, and she's going to dominate her. So yeah, I like Amorim, and I like her quite a bit.
Yeah, I mean, when you look at the stats there, Brady, you look and you see Inoue and you're like, oh, wow, 85% takedown defense. She's got some really good takedown defense. Then you watch the tape and you're like, oh, my God. Oh, she's got some of the worst takedown defense I've ever seen. Like, they credited, for some reason, Hannah Goldie with 14 takedown attempts against her. I didn't see any. Like, they were in the clinch a lot of the time. Like, Hannah Goldie was not out there shooting single legs. I can tell you that right now. But you going back and you watch, like, for instance, the Virna Jandiroba fight, right? Mizuki falls down. She accepts bottom position. You don't even have to try to take her down. There was one takedown that Virna got where I just laughed. Because I was like, that would take down nobody. That would take down 0% of the division. But Mizuki Inoue made her professional debut like less than 2 months after her 16th birthday, Brady. She's been fighting for 15 years. And during the Virna Jandiroba fight, which was like 7 years ago in 2018, they were talking about how Mizuki had already had multiple reconstructions on both knees.
Oh, God.
That was in 2018. After the Lemos fight, she takes 2.5 years off between that fight and the Goldie fight for what? Another reconstructed knee. Then she fights Hannah Goldie, barely beats Hannah Goldie, and now she's taking 2+ years off for what? A reconstructed knee? And then there's a picture circulating of her with a fucking eye patch on.
Wait, what? Where's this picture? I
don't think it's around anymore, but like there was like a picture a while back of Mizuki, and she's got her left eye. It's completely taped up and covered. And that's the eye that got injured in the Jandiroba fight. Like, it got closed after round 1 of the Jandiroba fight. She fought with one eye the whole time, the rest of the fight. So like, Mizuki has one fight in the last 5 years, dude. Jacqueline Amorim over that time period has had 11 fights. Yeah. I mean, that's all you need to know. One of these ladies is a fighter, and another one is constantly rehabbing knees. I got this Korean mechanic, Brady, who's like 83 years old. This guy's had his knee reconstructed about 14 times, and he gets around on crutches. It's painful to watch. I think he moves better than Mizuki.
Oh,
You know, I mean, like it's bad, dude. It's really bad. Jacqueline Amorim is going to get takedowns whenever she wants them, and then Mizuki's going to accept bottom position. She might just coast out a 3-round decision, or she might find a ground and pound finish. She might submit her. I mean, I think the parlay piece. I think her money line is fine as a parlay piece right here.
yeah, I like it a lot as a. I just don't see it. I don't really love any other leg to parlay it with, but and yeah, money's starting to pour in on Amorim inside the distance. Like this in my, it's just not a real fight. It's not an actual fight to me. I don't get it.
Yeah, I think it's an easy one for Jacqueline.
Yeah. Oh god, the under's been obliterated. Maybe that picture's starting to circulate again with Inoue coming there with an eye patch. She's gonna have like one of those pirate peg legs. She's gonna have like a peg leg. I wonder if we're gonna get the first peg leg knee bar in UFC history. I mean, is she a pirate? I get Halloween's coming up, but
and then the commission's gonna claim that they didn't see the peg leg in pre-fight inspection, and just like everybody with an Inoue bet's gonna get rinsed. Going, how are they letting this fight happen? She has one leg, you know,
wooden leg, man. Dude, we're gonna get the first pegging in UFC. This is pegging of the week. You know what?
Yes.
This is the first pegging of the week.
Yeah, it really is. This is the milking of the week without question. It will be the inaugural pegging as well.
How do you spell Jacqueline?
I think it's Jaqueueline.
I think I got it. Okay. Mizuki. Inoue is N-I-N.
You can just say Mizuki, because that's what she goes by.
I already typed it out.
That's fair enough.
Okay. Okay. This is the inaugural pegging of the week. Here we go. All right. The UFC 321 pegging of the week is Jacqueline Amorim to peg Mizuki Inoue this Saturday. She's going to pull out the peg. She's going to stick it in, and she's going to cash some tickets for us. So shout out to Jacqueline Amorim. We'll see if the we got Kyle Marley tuning in at an interesting time. The pegging of the week. We're gonna see if they even allow this fight to happen. Like if she shows up there with one leg, I don't know if they'll approve it, but we'll see.
It's gonna be a good one, man.
Yeah. So I'll have some sort of action on Amorim. Gonna wait for the rest of the props to drop, but yeah, I like her quite a bit this week. We got Sasha saying I was taping Amorim versus Viana, and I saw Big Dan. Oh, Big Dan. Danny Merg. And I made the joke, oh, not this guy again. 10 seconds left of the round. He separates them. He heard the horn right. He can't hear. He can't. I mean, he's made a couple mistakes. I mean,
I remember that, actually.
Yeah.
I remember that. He laughed about it.
Yeah. I mean, this guy's very hard of hearing. And there was one fight. It was the fight, it was just the other week where David Martinez versus Rob Font. Remember when David Martinez was pounding away at Rob Font? The round ended, and then it went 10 seconds extra. 10 seconds.
That's right.
That was Danny Merg. Oh. Can't hear, dude. Let's get him out of there. Let's get him out.
Still, dude. Still, I mean, like, everybody knew that fight was called off with 3 seconds left. Yeah. How could the only guy that didn't know was the one in the cage in charge of fighters' safety and in the result of the fight? I mean, unbelievable.
It's crazy. We need to see a fighter walk in. Well, we're about to see it this Saturday. We're gonna get the first pegging of the week. Weezy, come on now. Halloween is only a week or two away. Let's not jump to conclusions with the eye patch. She could very well be trying. Yeah, she potentially could be in a pirate outfit. We could potentially see that. Yes, pegging of the week. There you go. Fat Barnett's been asking us. Fat Barnett, I have a feeling you're not gonna like my breakdown of your fight, Fat Barnett. I heard about a peg. Yeah, they're going to get the first pegging in UFC history. Can't wait to watch it. We got Narco Cop in the building saying, what's up, boys? The only pegging was Big Dan pegging my underbet on that Nelson fight. Oh, we went in on Dan for about 45 minutes. Yeah, it's crazy, man. He's crooked, corrupt, judge it, and it's happening way too often. So, yeah. All right. Let's get this off the screen there. But yeah, I'm excited for the first pegging in UFC history. All right, moving on to the next fight. We got Azat Maksum going against Mitch Raposo. We got Maksum, 30 years old, 5'8" with a 70-inch reach. Raposo, 27 years old, 5'5" with a 64-inch reach. We got Raposo 3 years younger We got Maksum with a 3-inch height advantage and a 6-inch reach advantage. Maksum is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Made his debut against Tyson Nam, won that fight by split decision. Lost a decision to Charles Johnson. Lost a decision to Tagir Ulanbekov his last time out. As far as Mitch Raposo, he is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Made his debut against Andre Lima. Lost that fight by split decision. And then lost a split decision against Sumadarji, which is kind of crazy. Like, I didn't think either one of those fights were split, especially the Lima fight. Like, that fight really wasn't that hard to score, but I mean, the crooked, corrupt judges kind of get it wrong, kind of got it wrong there. But yeah, Maksum thus far, I haven't really been too impressed with him, to be honest, but I think this is going to be the fight where I think he showcases, that this guy is the real deal. And he's had some flashes of good moments, like against Tyson Nam. He was making his debut. It wasn't the most exciting fight, not a ton of volume thrown either way. I actually thought Nam might have, done enough to get the win. But yeah, it wasn't the best performance in the world. Against Charles Johnson, he went out there. He looked really good in the first round, hurt Johnson multiple times, got in on a deep submission attempt as well. And Johnson was able to survive and kind of, turn the tides later on in the fight and win. It was a close fight as well. But yeah, losing to Johnson wasn't the best look in the world, but also wasn't the worst look in the world. And then he gets Tagir. And I thought he made a very good account for himself in the Tagir fight. And I thought you could have even scored the fight for Maksum. I thought they were about to give it to Maksum there. And Maksum was a massive dog. But yeah, I was really impressed with Maksum prior to coming to the UFC. This guy obviously has a ton of power for the flyweight division. He's pretty big. He's going to have a big size advantage in this matchup here. And he's a very good grappler, very good wrestler, very, very tricky on the mat, pretty good everywhere. So I feel like it's really nut up or shut up time for Maksum. It's like, you took a tough loss to Charles Johnson in a close fight, not the end of the world. You took a tough loss and a close fight to Tagir, not the end of the world. I mean, if you lose to Mitch Raposo, it is the end of the world. You'll be on a 3-fight losing streak, and you're probably getting cut. So I think Maksum goes out here and gets it done. And yeah, could really win by any method. I could see him potentially knocking out Raposo. He has a ton of power. I could potentially see him submitting Raposo, and I think that's the path he probably should take here. And I can also see him potentially winning a decision as well. But yeah, I like Maksum, and I like him a decent amount, I'd say.
Yeah, man, I already wrote up this fight, and I'm having a hard time finding any good gambling angles on it, but I'll read the summary that I wrote for this one, and it's this. I think Azat should win this fight, but both guys have been in very close fights at the UFC level. So Azat's minus 350 price tag looks pretty expensive. Azat looks like the all-around better fighter to me. He stays much busier at range, in addition to being 3 inches taller and having a 6-inch reach advantage over Mitch. So I think Azat should win the minutes at distance striking range, and I rate Maksum as the better offensive and defensive wrestler in this matchup with the much more dangerous submission grappling game. Mitch has real power in his hands. He's a dangerous boxer when he lets his hands go in the pocket, and he's a solid wrestler in his own right. But the offensive output isn't there on the feet. And because he's undersized, he has a hard time maintaining top control when he gets takedowns, and he hasn't shown the ability to consistently win minutes or moments with his grappling at this level. I think Azat should win this fight, probably by decision, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him get to a dominant position on the mat and potentially finish the fight with a submission or ground and pound. I'm not interested in parlaying Azat's money line at minus 350 due to the thin margins he's fought on thus far in the UFC, but this is by far the easiest opponent he's had yet, and I do think he should get the win here. It's hard to pick whether it'll be inside the distance or by decision, but my model prefers the overs and Maksum by decision at plus 110. And Raposo's got some power. Like, you see him just deadening dudes on the Northeast regional scene. But they're in these trash promotions, dude, like CES and Cage Titans and, these Northeast regional scene, it's just such low-level fighters there. So anytime he stepped up to fight anybody with a fucking pulse, this guy just hasn't gotten the job done. They put him in the Tough House. He loses to Ludovic Shalinian.
Oh,
they put him on The Ultimate Fighter, and he gets finished by Jake Hadley in the second round.
Oh,
Jake Hadley, who I've never seen get a takedown ever, shoots one takedown in the second round, gets this guy down, works to his back, and finishes with the rear naked choke. And then he goes out there and he fights Lima, and he kind of keeps it close, but like Lima kind of clearly wins each round by doing just a little bit more than Raposo. And then the Sumaderji fight, like he tried to mix in some takedowns against a guy with no grappling, a guy who's been submitted in 6 of 7 losses, and we couldn't really see Mitch win minutes with the grappling like in a dominant way at all against Sumaderji, who's one of the worst wrestlers in the division. So anytime Mitch has fought someone with a pulse, he just hasn't gotten the job done. And the most alarming stat, Brady, on this page right now, if you look at Mitch Raposo's distance striking offense, this guy is attempting 4 distance strikes per minute. It means that he only throws a strike once every 15 seconds. And like, dude, if they gave you points for lateral movement and feinting, Mitch Raposo would be in the top 3. But this guy doesn't do shit. He just fakes like he's going to throw, and then he moves laterally and he switches stances, but he just never throws any offense. I think it's because he's undersized and he has a hard time closing the distance, and probably because he lacks confidence knowing that he's never beaten anybody that's anywhere close to UFC level. So Azat Maksum better not fuck this one up. But he's went 50-50 in all 3 fights thus far with all 3 fighters. The Nam fight could have went either way. The Johnson fight, I thought Johnson won just because he kind of won rounds 2 and 3. But, I mean, Azat had him in a horrible spot in round 1. And that Ulanbekov fight was back and forth. It was a great fight, great performance by Azat. And you could have given that one to him as well. So, yeah, he just fights on really thin margins with whoever he gets in there against. So I don't want to lay minus 350 on him. But, I mean, I am not convinced that Mitch Raposo is UFC level. Plus, this kid's got to go all the way to Abu Dhabi to fight a guy from Central Asia. So, I mean, like, there's a lot that I think that there's not to like on the Raposo side here.
Yeah. No, I think Maksum's the real deal, but we're about to find out. Like, if you're not beating Mitch Raposo, especially in dominant fashion, like, you're probably not that guy. You're probably not that guy. But I do think he is that guy. I do think he's a top 15 guy with top 10 upside potentially. Like, I'm taking a look at the rankings, and it's like they have Charles Johnson ranked like 12. Yeah, they have Charles Johnson ranked 13. They have Tagir Ulanbekov ranked 12. Like, he went to 50 fights with both. Like, he can easily be a top 15 fighter. So they got that bum Rafael Estevam in the rankings, the guy that keeps missing weight.
Yeah, in the bantamweight rankings, because that's the only weight class he ever fucking successfully weighs in at. And I was gonna say, dude, even Tyson Nam, dude, like, people are saying that, like, you can't bet on a guy that went 50-50 with Tyson Nam. That's not true, dude. Tyson Nam's been on a run. Tyson Nam's fighting as good as anybody right now. This guy's on a 4-fight win streak, but he's had a couple of custom rules fights. But since the Maksum fight, which easily could have went his way, man, this guy's like won 4 out of his last 5 fights at the age of 40. And he's one of those guys, he's a tricky matchup for anyone because he's got good striking, great durability, and very good takedown defense. So
he has elite takedown defense.
Yes,
it's like 87%. Whereas Raposo, it's taken down pretty easily. Like, if you're getting taken down by Shalinian as many times as he did, there might be a problem.
Yeah, man, agreed.
But yeah, we got Maksum opened up minus 250, but nothing but Maksum love. He's now minus 350. Raposo opened up plus 210. He's currently plus 285. After listening to Uncle Weezy's breakdown how the Dan fight was fixed and Brady's rap, I'm sold that it was fixed. I'm sold that it was fixed as well. Isn't this just Azat sub, possibly 2-3? We are seeing it the same way there. I played Azat sub prop 2. It's a big number. It's a very big number. I have round 1 Maksum sub, round 2 KO in Raposo decision, 3 props, same fight. Hope I get Dan. Yeah, that's a good point. Like, I might instead of betting Maksum sub, which I'm taking a look at, maybe I bet Maksum sub. Maybe I sprinkle Maksum decision. Maybe I sprinkle the KO too. Like, I better put a bunch of props on this fight. Cover them all because he's probably going to win in
all the bases now.
Gotta cover all the bases. The under 2.5 plus money in the Azat fight, and Mitch path is a KO, so I do like the under. Yeah, I don't mind the under too. It's plus 150 there. Hadley, Hadley. Raposo by brutal feint KO. Isn't this the first time Mitch is fighting outside the UFC?
Yes.
Is it?
It is, yeah. That's not good, man. Abu Dhabi is not a great first place to fight outside the country.
No, and they'll fuck with you too in Abu Dhabi. They'll put you in a locker room with paint.
That's Saudi Arabia, isn't it?
They'll either anywhere. They'll do that. They'll poison you. I mean, yeah, you got to be careful. We got Call Me Husker Oi coming off of a plus 50 unit week, and so is Dan Mergliotta, and looking to follow it up with your great minds put together. Appreciate it, Call Me Husker. Congrats on the big week, dude.
Nice work, dude.
Massive. I was going to shave some ass. We are all going to shave ass. I hope so. If Hadley can sub at Mitch, I mean, he didn't just sub Mitch. I mean, he subbed him easily. Like, he took him down and choked him out. Like, zero resist. So I think there is a big difference in the grappling. I'm eyeing to see what the Jandiroba sub props will open up at. Did you do that on purpose? Did you say eyeing on purpose? I think you said eyeing on purpose. I think he did.
No question.
All right. Let's move on to, oh boy,
yes,
the people's main event. It is none other than Hamdi al-Wahhab going against Chris Barnett. And last time Hamdi fought, I did a Hamdi hype video. I might have to do one for both. I mean, this calls for a hype video for both these guys. It's a great fight. I don't know why it's buried down in the prelims. It should be, clearly the co-main event. But yeah, we got Hamdi al-Wahhab, 32 years old, 6'2" with a 72-inch reach. Chris Barnett, 39 years old, 5'9" with a 75-inch reach. We got Hamdi 7 years younger. We got Hamdi with a 5-inch height advantage and a 3-inch reach disadvantage. Hamdi is 3-1 and 1 no contest in his last 5 fights. Had that no contest against Dontel Mays where he popped for all the steroids. Had a split decision win against Jamal Pogues, and then a decision loss to Muhammad Usman. As far as Chris Barnett, he is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. I believe he made his debut against Ben Rothwell, lost that fight by submission, knocked out John Vellante, lost a decision to Martin Budai, knocked out Jake Collier, and then got knocked out by Kennedy Nzechukwu. So another very weird fight here. Like I said, I'm not convinced Mizuki Inoue is a real fighter. I'm not really convinced that Chris Barnett is a real fighter. I mean, 5'9". I mean, he says he's 5'9". He might even be, he might be like 5'6", 5'7". I don't know what's going on with Barnett. These last couple of years, he's been dealing with a lot of stuff outside the cage. He's been dealing with a ton of injuries as well. And it seems like his body is just really failing him. And we saw that big time in his last fight against Kennedy when he actually got injured in the announcements. When he was kind of warming up, he got hurt his leg in the fight announcements. I mean, the body's just giving up on him, and rightfully so. I mean, this guy's 40 years old. He's had over 30 fights. He's a 5'9" heavyweight. I mean, yeah, your body's going to give up on you at some point. I mean, this guy shouldn't be fighting at heavyweight. He should be fighting at bantamweight, but he's been fighting at heavyweight, and this guy's been very inactive. I mean, that Ben Rothwell fight was 4 years ago at this point. So, yeah, it's kind of sad. Like, I feel bad, watching these Barnett fights. It's just because I don't know if he has much left in the tank anymore. It's like he's not making any improvements. If anything, he's getting worse, and he's getting worse at a very, very fast pace here. So I'm worried about, Chris Barnett. As far as Hamdi, and I've said it from the jump, I think this guy's a fraud. I think this guy's overrated, but I mean, they're doing him the biggest favor, I mean, imaginable. I mean, the matchmakers are sitting back there. They're like, okay, who can we get Hamdi a win against? Because, this fight's in Abu Dhabi. They love putting Hamdi on these, Abu Dhabi type cards. And okay, who can we give Hamdi to get him back on track? This guy is marketable, I guess. He had a tough loss in his last fight. Which guy can we give Hamdi so he can go out there and get a win? I mean, it's Chris Barnett. I mean, can you think of a worse heavyweight than Chris Barnett on the current roster? Because Tafa got cut. Jean Vellante has been cut.
Yeah.
Can you think of a worse heavyweight off the top of your head?
Not off the top of my head, man. I'd have to go into like the database and look and just at some of the names. Now, obviously, there's some bad ones. Hamdi has a win over Muhammad Usman. Oh. He has a win over Dontel Mays, that got overturned.
Yeah. But it's
but and Barnett even has 2 wins. He was getting his ass kicked by Collier, but came back and won that one, and then he got a spinning fat kick win over John Vellante, which was huge. I mean, I'm really hoping Chris Barnett wins this fight, Brady.
That'd be crazy. I don't see how.
It would be. I mean, I see how. Hamdi Abdel-Wahab is horrible.
Yeah,
it could happen. This guy could land one good shot and it's over. This guy Hamdi stinks. I mean, imagine being an Olympic wrestler that can't wrestle. You know, I mean, like, this guy is not going out there and wrestling at all. And his striking is terrible. He's attempting only 7.4 distance strikes per minute. He only lands 3.3 and absorbs 5.3. I mean, this guy's awful, dude. He could barely take down Dante Almeida. And Dante Almeida has the worst takedown defense in the history of the division. Robelis de Spain looked like Jose Aldo compared to fucking Dante Almeida in terms of takedown defense. So this Abdel-Wahab's terrible. He's a cheater. He's a steroid user. He's a wrestler that doesn't wrestle because he's afraid to get tired. And Chris Barnett made a spectacular comeback against Fat Collier. He had a spectacular highlight reel finish against Fat Vellante. He's a big fat dynamo. He can hurt you with some of those spinning fat kicks. And like, dude, if he wins, we're going to get some phenomenal dance. We're going to get some dance routine before the fight. Like, we as a community have to do whatever in our power that we can do to try to help Fat Barnett to win this fight. Because the scenes, if Fat Barnett gets the win on Saturday, it's going to be a great day. It's going to be a great day because then Hamdi Abdel-Wahab gets cut and he's somebody else's problem. We'll never have to break down another Hamdi Abdel-Wahab fight again if Fat Barnett goes out there and punts his head into the cheap seats and then they pass it around. Dude, I mean, I could even smell a buddy cop movie here.
That'd be nice.
You know, you got Hamdi Abdel-Wahab, the Muslim, and you got Chris Barnett always sitting next to the Muslim eating a bunch of barbecued pork. You know, and Hamdi gets pissed off because he doesn't want to be, you know, like be around all that pork because Muslims don't eat pork. But Fat Barnett's eating it 6-7 times a day. And then Barnett's always teasing him about because like Hamdi's always showing his Olympic medal all over the precinct. And then Fat Barnett saying, don't listen to him. That's made out of tin. He can't even take me down. And it's true. I don't think he even is going to be able to take down Fat Barnett. Barnett's like a bowling ball. You ever try to take down a bowling ball?
I think it's
already down. You know, I mean, it's already down. You can't get it any further down than it already is. So, like, I don't know, man. I'm just praying Fat Barnett wins this fight. It would be so awesome if Barnett spinning fat kicked this dude's head into the cheap seats. It would be the best thing that has happened in MMA this year.
It would be hilarious. It would be hilarious. Gosh, yeah, this fight's rough, but I have a hot take.
What's that?
My hot take, and I had this hot. Remember when Dusko fought Jose Medina, and it's like, oh, Dusko sucks. Dusko sucks. My hot take is Dusko's running right through Medina. Yeah, I know Dusko sucks. I know he's not good, but he's gonna run right through Medina, who sucks even worse. That's my hot take here, man. I mean, I think Hamdi runs through Barnett. I mean, I went back and watched the Usman fight. It's like Hamdi had Usman on skates, you know, a lot of that fight. Whenever he lands, like he has power. He knocked down Dante Almeida, and I think he can get on top of Chris Barnett. And if he does, you know, the fight could be over shortly after. So I think it could be a situation of where Barnett kind of finishes himself. It's like I'm watching like training footage. Like he doesn't look like a fighter anymore. I think he's taken a lot of damage. I think his knees are completely shot. I wouldn't be surprised if Barnett, you know, rolled in on a wheelchair. So if he did pull off an upset, it would be a huge upset in my mind, especially coming all the way to Abu Dhabi. It would be a massive upset in my mind. I'm kind of surprised the line isn't wider, but the reason it's not wider is because it is Hamdi Al-Wahhab. And I agree. I think he sucks. I've been saying it from the beginning. I think Hamdi absolutely stinks, but they're trying their damnedest to get him a win. Like it doesn't get much easier. So it's time to nut up or shut up if you're Hamdi. Like if you lose to this guy, like we have a serious problem. So we'll see. Hamdi minus 350, Barnett is plus 285. The over-under set at 1.5. The over 1.5 minus 170. The under 1.5 is plus 149 there. You guys rock. Missed you last night, but you're still on time as usual. Yeah, always on time, of course. of course. Roydy. Oh, yeah, and we are in Abu Dhabi, so he'll be allowed to do steroids as well.
Yeah,
So,
we're going to be calling him back knee al-Wahhab.
yep, the steroids will be in play there, so that's good. This is somebody should get a belt after this one.
Yeah.
Who bet on Barnett? Hamdi got to -400, then back down to -350. I don't know.
I don't think it's actually legal for Hamdi al-Wahhab to be north of a -400 favorite.
Maybe. I mean, I remember they opened up the line at like -200. I'm like, I should probably be max betting Hamdi there at -230. I just couldn't believe that line, but it didn't last too long. The Egyptian GSP, absolutely. Huggy Bear jumped during the announcement and blew his knee out from the a-hole to breakfast. Yeah, that was bad. They should get Barnett in there with a featherweight. It would be an epic fight. I'm not even sure he wins against a featherweight at this stage of his career. Yeah, Hunsucker got cut, though.
Yeah,
unfortunately. I don't know why they cut him, but they cut him. Is the under 1.5 the only way to go in the Hamdi Chris fight? I don't mind the under 1.5 personally, but it could also be a really frustrating bet if Hamdi doesn't do anything.
Yeah.
Harry Hunsucker, yeah, he has to go. Hamdi's only chance to finish is exhaustion, which is the case of Barnett, seems very high. Yeah, I could see it. I could see an exhaustion type finish. Chris, a knee up the middle on a sloppy takedown attempt. Honestly, that's the only path I can see. It would be like a spinning fat kick. Watch me win by mother's milk. I'm smothering this Egyptian turd with my boobies. There you go.
Let's go, Fat Barnett.
There you go. Voluptuous Barnett.
Voluptuous.
Okay.
You know what that means, right? Voluptuous.
I have a kind of an idea. It's like
to be curvy,
Yeah.
pleasingly plump,
Yeah.
And that's our guy, Fat Barnett. To be nicer, we could call him Voluptuous Barnett.
Yes. I mean, this guy used to be able to move, man. I mean, Chris Barnett a couple of years ago, he used to be able to move. He's be able to do some dance.
Fat dynamo. He's athletic for a fat man.
Yeah, I feel like that athleticism is kind of going quickly, though.
Yeah.
You have the commission on. You definitely don't have the commission on your side in this one. I think the commission is on Hamdi's side there.
They're lying to you.
Yeah. All right. Yeah, this fight is an absolute mess. Moving on to the next fight. We got Walter Walker going against Louis Sutherland. We got Walker, 27 years old, 6'6" with an 81-inch reach. Sutherland, 31 years old, 6'3" with a 76-inch reach. We got Walter Walker, 4 years younger. Walter Walker with a 3-inch height advantage and a 5-inch reach advantage. Walter Walker is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He lost a decision to Lucas Bresky in his debut and got back-to-back submission wins against Junior Tafa, Dontel Mays, and Kennedy Nzechukwu. As far as Louis Sutherland, he is 4-1 in his last 5 fights, and he's going to be making his debut. He was supposed to make his debut a couple cards ago against Justin Tafa, right?
Yes, Fat Tafa, yeah.
Yeah, Tafa got cut, and in that Tafa Sutherland fight, it's like I was really struggling to pick a winner, which that should tell you everything you need to know. Like I was struggling to see who would win between those two. So I think Sutherland's probably the second worst fighter on the roster. But it's not sure what he's good at. Like I'm just very unimpressed with Louis Sutherland. It's like he comes forward, he can hold you in the clinch a little bit. His cardio is okay for heavyweight standards. He's not the best striker. He can mix in a takedown here or there. Walter Walker is just so much better than this guy. I mean, there's no reason for Walter Walker to really lose this one or mess this one up. And the line does indicate that he's -310. So yeah, I mean, I think Walker wins this fight. The question is, how does he win it? Does he submit Sutherland? Does he do it again? And I think maybe. So yeah, Walker for me. I think Sutherland's just very, 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 very bad. But I don't know. I don't know how I'm going to play it if I'm going to play it at all. The sub prop's trash. I mean, at least with Walker was supposed to fight. Who was Walker supposed to fight? Junior Tafa?
He was supposed to fight
both these guys had canceled fights.
Muhammad Usman.
Muhammad Usman. At least with the Usman fight, like the Walter Walker sub prop was, I think plus 170. This sub prop we're getting at like plus 125. So yeah, it's probably going to be a stay away for me, but I mean, I have to pick Walker. I just think he's so much better.
Yeah, and I think really what the best move here is you just stay away because like Walter Walker was just supposed to fight a couple of weeks ago in Rio. So now guess what? You're going from Russia to Rio, and then you're training for that. And now you're going from Rio to Abu Dhabi on short notice. They just made this fight a couple of days ago, Brady. It wasn't on my stat sheet until I actually went to go finish the stat sheet. I had to add this fight and the Saul killed Haqparast fight. Those fights hadn't even been made yet. So this is getting thrown together at the last minute. Sutherland was training for Fat Tafa. Walker was training for Usman. So and now they're going to meet in Abu Dhabi and fight. So it's just there's a lot of variance here. I think it's probably a pretty good fight to stay away from betting as a whole. But if you watch Louis Sutherland fight Slim Trabelsi, you saw Slim have a lot of success with the wrestling and top control. And I think that Walter Walker, that's going to be his path. Walter Walker's striking is still not UFC level. He's not going to last if he's unable to get takedowns or clinch time at this level. But if he can get takedowns, he's a menace on the ground because he can just kind of stay on top of you and win minutes and rack up top time, but he can also finish you with his leg locks. So he should win this fight, but you're laying a big price here on Walter Walker, who does have a massive hole in his striking. And Louis Sutherland's another bowling ball type of fighter. I mean, he's listed at 6'3". I don't think he's 6'3", dude. He kind of looks, doesn't he look like super jacked up? But it looks like he could probably be 6 feet. I mean, maybe I'm wrong about that, but I think Walker's going to be way bigger than him. And obviously the better offensive and defensive wrestler, I think, too. So I think he's going to get the fight that he wants. I think he's going to be able to win minutes and moments on the ground. Maybe he doesn't find the finish against Sutherland. This isn't Junior Tafa or Dante Almeida. And that heel hook that he got against Nzechiku was a weird one. So, maybe it's Walter by decision this time. But I think he should get the job done. But this was thrown together at the last minute. It might be a good one to just avoid.
Yeah, it's a pretty stupid fight, to be honest. It's pretty stupid.
I mean, both of these guys were supposed to fight. They kind of both got fucked out of a show check because their opponent fucked up. I mean, Tafa couldn't fight because he literally blew his weight cut. Yeah. That fat fuck who's like 6 feet tall can't make 266. That's why Louis Sutherland got fucked out of a fight. And dude, he had to fly all the way from Scotland to Perth. And then they were like, sorry, son, Fat Tafa couldn't make weight. So we don't have an opponent for you. And then Walter Walker, they don't tell him until the day of weigh-ins that Muhammad Usman's juicing. Who knew, right?
Yeah, I mean,
they're known for being all natural, the Usman brothers.
Yeah, I think Walker should finish this guy, but I mean, they're onto it. -160 for Walker ITD. That's kind of disgusting. And then the sub prop, you can't lay or +125 on a sub prop.
No, thank you.
I don't care how many times it's hit. You just can't. But it probably hits. But it's not great. But who knows? I mean, maybe he'll sub him, and then the ref will be like, "Oh, you didn't sub him." Restart the fight. Yeah.
Those decision props are where it's at. You just find those. You find those under bets that got steamed and that should absolutely finish under, and just bet the over.
Yeah, I mean, Walker by decision actually at +350. Like, that's not bad. I mean, this Sutherland guy, he stinks on ice, but he's never been finished. He's tough.
Yeah, and that's a much bigger number.
Yeah, I think I'd rather do that, but I would also not really want to bet on this fight. Is the thing?
Agreed. Yeah,
it's just horrible.
Yeah. It's a tricky one, dude.
Free Dumas. So they actually did free Dumas. They booked him in a fight, and he's
fighting
going to be
next week.
Fighting next week.
Yes, he's got Dante Johnson, that heavyweight.
Yes.
From Contender Series, who just knocks dudes out in like 30 seconds.
Dude.
That dude's moving down because he barely made heavyweight. He weighed in at like 207 or something like that. So he's cutting down to middleweight, and his first fight will be against our guy, friend of the show, Cedricus Dumas.
Dude, Dante Johnson's very good. He's a very good fighter. I'm glad he's going down to, I mean, he shouldn't be fighting at heavyweight or even light heavyweight. He probably shouldn't be. He should be fighting at middleweight. So that's great. I'm looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Finally, Tafa got cut. Yeah, finally, it's been well awaited. I'm surprised he's lasted this long. It's crazy. Walker, good to add to a parlay. I wouldn't, but I mean, he shouldn't lose to this bum.
Yeah, I'd be surprised if he lost to this guy, but it's heavyweight, man.
It's heavyweight. It's greasy. I mean, this guy lost to Breski at the end of the day, so anything can happen.
That is a very good point, Brady.
Walker sub would tend to agree. Just wish it was a much better line. Dan Murgliata caused FanDuel to break today.
Yeah, I heard something about FanDuel being down all day. Did you hear that?
No, I haven't really been on Twitter today. Huh. I wonder if it was Danny Murg that caused it.
Oh my God. That was just
probably. Massive withdrawal. Okay. Might have been Danny Murg withdrawing some cash, buy that yacht. You never know. He'll be dry and not want to get hit. Sub prop is a lot. Yeah, I think round 1 sub potentially. Won't be a great line though. You can be too light for a fight to go through. Yeah, you can. We've seen heavyweights weigh in there was this one heavyweight weighed in at 210 on Contender Series, and yeah, Johnson just did it. He weighed in at 207 for a heavyweight fight. Crazy. Or 209 for a heavyweight fight, which is pretty crazy. Sutherland might have worse striking than Walter, and that is wild. Yeah, it's bad, man. I mean, the striking exchanges between these two are going to be horrible. It's going to be terrible. All right. Let's move on to the next fight. Speaking of terrible, this fight is not that. I mean, this fight's incredible. Nathaniel Wood, Jose Delgado. We got Nathaniel Wood, 32 years old, 5'6" with a 69-inch reach. Delgado, 27 years old, 5'11" with a 73-inch reach. We got Delgado, 5 years younger, 5-inch height advantage, and a 4-inch reach advantage. Nathaniel Wood is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Decision win against Charles Jourdain. Decision win against Andre Fili. Decision loss to Muhammad Naimov. Decision win against Daniel Pineda. And a decision win against Morgan Charrier. What do you call him? The last butt pirate? Is that what you... The last butt pirate?
I mean, I don't know if that was me in a drunken rage that called him that. Somebody did, and I was just saying it was completely uncalled for, but it might have been me, yes.
Butt pirate. We got speaking of pirate, we have Mizuki Inoue, who's a pirate. We got a couple of pirates in the UFC. We got Morgan Charrier. It's crazy. Jose Delgado, 5-0 in his last 5 fights, had a knockout win on the Contender Series against poor Ernie Juarez in the second round. Knocked out Connor Matthews, and I believe Delgado was the very first ever piping of the week against Connor Matthews. He came through with flying colors, knocked out poor Connor Matthews, and then knocked out Hyder Emil the fight after that. So this is a very, very high-level fight. I'm really looking forward to this one. And you can make a lot of cases for Nathaniel Wood. Nathaniel Wood's fought, the much better competition. He's been around for the longest time. He's a very good fighter. I think Nathaniel Wood is a very skilled fighter. He's good everywhere. I love the striking. I love the volume, the speed, the combinations. A ton to love about Nathaniel Wood. What I don't love about Nathaniel Wood is this guy's a bantamweight. This guy's literally a bantamweight fighting up at featherweight. This guy's 5'6". I mean, why are you fighting up at featherweight? And it hasn't really caught up to him much. I mean, the Naimov fight a little bit, but I mean, Delgado's much, 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 much bigger than Nathaniel Wood. Delgado is a big featherweight, so I kind of think the size could play a factor here. And the other thing about Wood, that meme, it's like, you can't keep getting away with this. This guy, Nathaniel Wood, gets rocked and dropped in the majority of his fights. It's like, when is this guy going to go down? Andre Fili dropped him very badly in the second round, almost finished him. Muhammad Naimov dropped him very badly, almost finished him. Even Daniel Pineda hurt Nathaniel Wood at one point in the fight. So I worry about the durability of Wood. I worry about the fact that he's not a featherweight and he's going against Jose Delgado, who has a ton of power. So I think there's very strong cases to be made on both fighters. That's kind of why we're getting a close line here. I could definitely see Wood just being the better fighter. I think skill for skill, Wood is probably the more skilled fighter, more tools wherever the fight goes. But, Delgado has, a ton of power. He's much bigger. He's younger. And I think this guy Delgado is going to be a problem for years to come. So it's kind of a tricky fight to call. I kind of think it's Wood by decision or Delgado knocking him out. And Weezy, the line's indicating that because they have the finish-only prop for Jose Delgado is like minus 325.
Yeah.
So they're saying if Delgado's winning this fight, he's probably knocking out Wood. If he's not knocking out Wood, Wood might be able to get that decision. So that's kind of how I'm seeing it. What are your thoughts on this fight?
That's one of the things I do like to look at. Like one of the reasons I bet on Marlon Vera last week, and I said that important narratives are important to ignore in betting because like we talked about Vera doing the sprinting, so now he's going to come out fast. No, he's the same fighter he always was. So like sometimes you see these situations where I like to get a fighter around a pick'em when the market says that they have like 75% of the finish upside here, because what that means to me is that they can steal rounds with big moments now. Yeah. And I mean, after seeing that was just a really eye-opening performance last time out by Delgado. To go out there and just nuke a dude like Haider Emil, who was on a crazy winning. I mean, I believe that Haider went into that fight undefeated as a professional.
Yeah, Haider's a beast.
Dude, he's a problem. And he just ended him with a knee. And I love it when tall, long fighters use those step-in knees. One of the reasons I backed Renier de Ritter, so seeing Delgado with that moment-winning upside here and seeing that Nathaniel Wood has been finished in 4 of his 6 professional losses, that makes you feel pretty good about, maybe laying a little bit of juice if you want to be on the Delgado money line side here this week. But I kind of agree, dude, Nathaniel Wood is so good at MMA.
Yeah.
The way he blends his striking and his takedown entries is beautiful. The way that he puts his combinations together is beautiful. He doesn't look like he has power, but he consistently finds knockdowns by being precise and having good timing and when he's in the pocket, putting his combinations together. So this is a great test for Jose Delgado because it's a different kind of test than somebody like Haider Emil, who's just a marauder who's going to come forward and really just, put a pace on you and put you on the back foot. He's not very technical or anything, but he's very durable and he just stays in your face and he makes you work. Wood's like not really like that. He's going to be technical in there. He's going to look to attack the grappling when you're looking for the striking and vice versa. So this is the right test at the right time for somebody like Delgado, who's only got 11 professional fights, and it's pretty crazy, man. It's 54 minutes of cage time. 11 fights, 54 minutes, average fight time of 4.9 minutes for Delgado, and an average fight time in his 2 UFC wins of 1.7 minutes. Dude, this kid is running through these guys right now, so I'm really looking forward to seeing what's next for Jose. His only professional loss came to Chris Makate, and Chris, when he employs his wrestling, is a relentless chain wrestler, and that's how he was able to beat Delgado. But you saw in that fight, Delgado kept working to get back to his feet. He was frustrated, but you could tell he was doing all the right things, trying to get back up, trying to find moments when Chris was continuously closing the distance, trying to get in on his hips. And he found a couple of moments. He found a couple of submission attempts that actually got close in that fight. So I think Delgado, he's been tested at a decent level on the regional scene, and he's showing just lights out finishing ability at the UFC level thus far. But, he nuked Haider Emil, and we didn't learn a lot there. So I think we're going to learn a lot more in this fight, unless he just goes out there and nukes this dude too, which is an absolute possibility because we've seen Wood get dropped. We've seen Wood get finished. And it's happened on the regional scene as well as at the UFC level. So I don't know. I have no idea who's going to win this fight. I can't wait for this fight. But, people the market's showing its hand, and it's saying that Delgado's got all the finish upside here. But I wonder what happens if this fight gets out of the first round for a kid that's got a 5.4 or 4.9 average fight time over 11 fights. This could get interesting if it gets into the second half of the fight.
Yeah, I guess it all comes down to, does Nathaniel Wood's durability hold up? I mean, it's looked iffy. It's looked iffy.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're telling you it's like Delgado ITD. I mean, this is a closely lined fight. Remind you, Delgado ITD is only plus 135. Like they're telling you. Wood by decision is plus 210. So that's kind of how I'm seeing it. If Wood's chin and durability does hold up, he probably gets the win, but that's going to be an if. It's going to certainly be an if against Delgado, who looks just like a monster in there. Tons and tons of power. And he's big as well. So, yeah, I'm kind of leaning Delgado, but I also want to, give some respect to Nathaniel Wood, who is a very good fighter. And I've always liked Nathaniel Wood as well. We got Dr. Peener in the building. What is up, Dr. Peener? Good to see you in here. Significant strikes here will mount. I like Wood by decision. Yeah, Wood should be the minute winner versus moment winner type fight. Minute winner versus moment winner type fight. Delgado or bust. I like Wood, but I think he's in trouble here. If Delgado can stop the takedowns, I see a KO coming, and I think he will. Nathaniel Wood, he can wrestle, but he's just so much smaller. I think it's going to be really tough for Wood to wrestle this big dude around. But we'll see. Hyder's a maniac, really impressive by Delgado. Yeah. Level of comp there's a big difference in level of comp, that's for sure. Absolutely. All right. Let's move on to the next fight. It is going to be Abdul Karim Al-Saadi going against Mateus Camilo. We got Al-Saadi, 30 years old, 5'8" with a 69-inch reach. Mateus Camilo, 24 years old, 5'10" with a 69-inch reach. Camilo, 6 years younger, 2-inch height advantage. Got the same reach there. We got Al-Saadi is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. He made his debut against Loic Radzhabov, lost that fight by 3rd round KO. He beat George Hardwick by decision, pulled off a big upset that night on the Contender Series. As far as Mateus Camilo, he made his debut against Gabe Green, lost that fight by 2nd round submission. So we have another very closely lined fight here. We have it about, I think it's it's the second closest line fight on the card, right behind the Haqparast Salkild fight we'll talk about. And I agree that it should be line close because it's a tough fight to call, because I think the more skilled fighter here is Saadi. I think Al-Saadi is a very good fighter. I love the wrestling, the cardio, the pace, the pressure. Really good. I mean, he's really good everywhere. There's one big problem with Abdul Karim Al-Saadi, and it's the chin, man. I mean, this guy's chin is questionable to say the least. 4 losses. All 4 losses come by knockout. If you touch this guy's chin, he's going to be going down. But everything else I love. He can mix in the takedowns. His ground and pound is vicious. Has a decent submission game as well. Everything's there besides the durability. And I can never back this guy. Because no matter how much I like him and I like his skill set, I mean, it just could take one punch and this guy could be lights out. And Camilo's a guy who I'm not completely sold on. He's still 24 years old. He's training at a good gym in Extreme Couture. He's very dangerous. He has power, has a good submission game, but that was a bad look in the Game Green fight. I know it was his debut, but I mean, that was one of the biggest, cardio dumps I've seen since like Rodolfo Vieira against Fluffy Hernandez back in the day, where he had a very tight triangle on Gabe Green in that second round. Gabe Green was able to get it out, and then Gabe Green got on top and insta-tapped Camilo. Camilo was completely exhausted. And my thinking here is Abdul Karim Al-Saadi has all the tools to push a pace here, mix in the wrestling, push a heavy pace, coming forward the entire time, making Camilo work, and, get on top of this guy and potentially finish him down the stretch or win by decision. But at any moment, it's like Camilo could touch the chin, because Camilo does throw with bad intention. So I think it's a tough fight to call. I think I got to lean with I just think Al-Saadi's much better, and he has a path, but it could also look like a stupid pick if he gets knocked out for the 5th time.
Yeah, there's a lot of picks that have wound up looking stupid for different reasons over the last few weeks, Brady. So I guess we can't really be afraid about looking stupid anymore. But yeah, I mean, you broke it down beautifully, because Al-Saadi's been knocked out violently a couple of times. Like that knee he took in Brave was like a life changer. That hook that Radzhabov knocked him out with was nasty. He's taken some bad knockouts. So it's not that I necessarily think that he's really chinny, so to speak, but it's just that he's taken bad knockouts in the past. And after you take a couple like that, man, you're those would have knocked anybody out. Like that nasty knee that he took in Brave, that knocks out the whole division. So it's going to be interesting to see if he can, because his style is very energy intensive. He moves a ton, dude. He's going back and forth. He's I think he's a big switch stance guy, right? He doesn't just stay in orthodox the whole time, does he?
Not sure.
I feel like he was like switching stances in that Hardwick fight. And and so he's really hard to find. And if you over chase him, he can react and get you with a double leg too. So he can mix in that wrestling. He can win minutes with that lateral movement and point fighting at distance. I mean, even in the 6.6 minutes that he's been at distance striking range in the UFC, he outlanded Loic 5.1 to 2.7 in significant distance strikes. That's a positive 2.4 distance striking differential, and he can mix in the takedowns to win some minutes as well. So the guy is he got more control time against Loic Rajabov than Rajabov got against him. And we know what a dominant wrestler and control time grappler Loic Rajabov is. So Wadi's a very good minute winner wherever the fight goes. But I think Camilo's got a couple things that could be really to his advantage here. Number one, the calf kicks, because he's got really good calf kicks. And for somebody that moves as much as Wadi and relies on explosiveness, not only to move laterally and in and out and switch stances, but to those reactive double leg shots that he's going to take as well. If he can land a bunch of calf kicks, he can slow down that movement. He can maybe make it a little bit easier to stuff some of the takedowns that are going to be coming his way. And Camilo's got power, so obviously this guy's got 4 knockouts. He's 4-0 to the knockout as a professional. And so Wadi's been knocked out in all 4 of his professional losses. So, yeah, we could see Camilo get a knockout win here. We could see Al-Saadi get a decision win because he's only got 2 wins by submission as a pro. And I'm not really sure if he's the kind of guy that's going to be finding submissions. But Matias Camilo, he's been submitted in all 3 of his professional losses. And Al-Saadi's been knocked out in all 4 of his professional losses. So these guys have 7 combined losses, and they've been finished in all of them. So maybe an under here, which is sitting at fight doesn't go to decision, sitting at -130. That's not bad considering that these guys have never lost a fight by decision between them.
It seems very generous. But I'm also scarred for life betting it under. But I think this fight does go under because you have Al-Saadi who can push that pace and tire out Camilo.
Yeah.
And potentially make him tap, or Al-Saadi has really good ground and pound. And then, of course, if Camilo's winning, it's going to be a finish. It's going to be a knockout, something like that. So I can see a couple of different ways. I can see, three ways or so that this fight can finish. But if Dan Miragliotta's in there, like we could see Camilo KO 1 and then an Al-Saadi KO 2, and then Al-Saadi. We could see like Al-Saadi decision. We could see a bunch of different outcomes if Dan Miragliotta's punk ass is in there.
That's for sure, dude. I could see somebody tapping 5 times and Dan saying, "No, the fight isn't over. That was just a seizure."
Yes. Mm-hmm.
There's a lot of ways this could go.
Yeah. But yeah, that'd probably be my preferred. Instead of laying, -120 on Al-Saadi or plus 100 on Camilo, maybe the total at the same exact price pretty much. Covers a couple spots there. We got Dravi in the building. What's up, boys? Good luck with your bets this week. Appreciate you, Dravi. Best of luck to you as well. We got VT saying, "Hey, fellas, I'm an MMA Joey fan." Okay, but I want to be here for some live MMA talk. Let's do it. Let's do it, man.
Let's go.
He was getting KO'd in 1 last time. He got KO'd in 3. He's making improvement. Yeah, he's making improvement. There you go. There you go.
It's true.
Gabe Sub was nice. Yeah, I should have bet it too. I was looking at Gabe Sub 2-3. They were like massive price. I didn't hop on it though. Okay. All right. Okay. We got Colby Saul in the building. I joined late, but I'm gonna have to go rewatch to see Brady go off on Dan. I went a little easy on him, to be honest. Like if this show was done last night, the stream would have got kicked off. I mean, we would have got kicked off. We would have been banned. I would not have a channel anymore had we went last. So we had to take a day off, regroup, cool down, and we had to come do the show Monday night. But yeah, I went easy on him, I'd say. There used to be a way for you to see who was reffing which fight before the card. That'd be amazing. I mean, that would be perfectly amazing. Because if Herzog's reffing the Dern Jandiroba fight, I mean, we could see Dern win by first round sub. We could see Dern win by second round TKO. We could see Dern win by decision. I mean, remember when Herzog did that in the Yan Jiaonan fight? Zhang Wei Li, Yan Jiaonan? Herzog.
Oh my God, yeah. There were so many stoppages in that fight. I mean, Yan was out after round 1, right? Was it round 1 or round 2 where she got finished with the choke?
Round 1 was the choke. She went fully out. And then I remember Herzog actually waking her up and helping her up and walking her to the stool. And I found it interesting in the De Ridder fight, Herzog made sure not to do that. He actually made sure to tell the corner to not help De Ridder. So Herzog learned from that experience. He probably watches the show a little bit. He made sure not to help De Ridder up like he helped up Yan Jiaonan. It was crazy.
Remember when Song Yadong had to help up Na Liang after round 1?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I'll never forget.
Oh, God.
Crazy.
That was awesome. Na Liang versus Ariane Carnelossi should be must-watch viewing. We should watch that once a week.
Dude, that was one of the best fights of all time. It was after COVID was over. We finally got fans back. It was the first card with fans' first fight, and Na Liang brought it. And I don't know why they cut her, to be honest. I mean, because anytime Na Liang was on a card, she would always set the tone. The tone would always be set. And if she's on that card, it's going to be a good card. We're getting finishes, we're getting violence, but they cut her for some reason. I still don't understand why. We got Amari saying, I watched UFC since 2009. I regularly watch and listen to you guys, but after the last card, I have to admit that I don't understand shit in the sport from a betting perspective. It's a weird card. A lot of weird outcomes, that's for sure. Weezy, can you calculate refs into your stats? How many ends by KO, sub, and decision?
I mean, it could probably actually be done because UFC Stats actually has the information of who's reffed every fight.
Oh,
so you could probably actually, I could look at Mario Bautista versus Patchy Mix and see that Keith Peterson was the ref and that the judges were Sal D'Amato, Adrian Castro, and Eric Colon. So, yeah, there actually would be a way to work that into the database. Am I going to spend a month cutting and pasting 10,000 fights? No, I'm not going to do that. But that would be interesting, actually.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
That would be it'd be more information to have. It's just information. It doesn't necessarily have the best predictive value, but it's access to more info.
Yeah, but the thing is, I mean, they take turns being corrupt. Like the judges.
I know.
Like remember, like Keith Peterson was going through a really rough stretch a couple of years ago. We shit on him week after week after week.
Yeah,
Keith Peterson's been phenomenal. Keith Peterson's been phenomenal these last couple of years. Jason Herzog, shit on him week after week after week for a while. I wish I shit on him like a whole year. Herzog's been great. Herzog's been really good as of late. Now it's Dan Murgliata's turn to be crooked and corrupt. They just take turns. They rotate. It's like we see some of these judges. Remember that bird bitch, that judge. She was awful.
Mm-hmm.
Some of these other judges and they take turns. They take turns. It's really weird, actually.
Yeah,
really weird. But so apparently Liang Na has been tearing it up on the regionals and couldn't get re-signed, and she has. She absolutely has. She got a first round submission calf slicer against Irina Chernysheva. There we go. She beat Tiffany Teo by first round submission. Kimura in the third round. Yeah, right. This is wrong.
What?
No way. No, she didn't. That's okay. That's a mistake by Sherdog. I'm at the email Sherdog and have them correct that. Third round Kimura. Right. Good one. And then she beat Mariam Tarchacheva by first round submission she's on a 3-fight winning streak, all by submission. Calf slicer, Kimura. Let's re-sign her.
Yeah, what's this JCK? This is it's just Chinese, so I don't know what it stands for, but Ju King. Okay, yeah, Ju Ching King. Yeah, that's an interesting. I've never heard of that promotion before, but yeah, now Liang on a 3-fight winning streak, and Tiffany Teo, she's a one fighter. I know that she was in one prior to this.
Her nickname's No Chill.
Yeah, she's got some decent wins, actually. I think she's actually got a win over Puja Tomar, doesn't she?
Yeah, she beat Puja.
Yeah, she beat Puja. I mean, that's a big win. They're not just handing out wins over Puja Tomar, my friend, or Bo Meng. So
it's a big win.
It's a good win for the third round Kimura. Let's hope that they re-sign Na Liang. She always put on fun fights.
They need to. I mean, they need to bring her back in there. I don't know why they cut her in the first place, but
agreed.
Yeah, I don't get it. All right. Let's move on to the next fight. We have Ludovic Klein going against Mateusz Rebecki. We got Ludovic Klein, yes, 30 years old, 5'7" with a 72-inch reach. Mateusz Rebecki, 32 years old, 5'7" with a 66-inch reach. We got Ludovic Klein, 2 years younger, same age, and it's going to be Ludovic Klein with a 6-inch reach advantage. Klein is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. A decision win against Ignacio Bahamondes. Knockout win against poor AJ Cunningham. A decision win against Thiago Moises. A decision win against Roosevelt Roberts. And a decision loss against Mateus Gamrot. As far as Mateus Rebecki, he is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Knockout win against Loic Rajubov. Submission win against Roosevelt Roberts. Knockout loss against Carlos Diego Ferreira. A decision win against My Titty Back Oral Boy. And then a decision loss against Chris Duncan. So this fight is a phenomenal fight. I can't wait for this. This has potential fight of the night written all over it. But I'm extremely concerned about Mateus Rebecki. I don't know if you are as well, but I'm looking through this guy's fights, right? And in that Carlos Diego Ferreira fight, I mean, the dude took a ton of damage. The fight probably could have been stopped a little bit sooner. The ref finally kind of stopped the fight late in that 3rd round, kind of like a mercy stoppage. I mean, Diego Ferreira put it on this guy in the 3rd round. He comes back only like 6 months later to fight My Titty Back Oral Boy. And in that Oral Boy fight, although he wins the fight and has some good moments, he also takes a ton of damage. His face is completely blown up. His face is completely busted up, cut up. He's bleeding profusely out of the face, and he beats him. And then he takes a couple months off, takes like 7-8 months off then, which is good. And then he fights Chris Duncan, and he takes a ton of damage. His face is all busted up. I'm surprised they didn't stop the fight due to a doctor's stoppage, because there was cuts in his face. He was there was like so many cuts on his face, and that was 2 months ago. Like, what is this guy doing? Like, is he? How does it even work? Like, I'm not a doctor, I'm not a medical professional, but after a war like that, you should probably take a couple months off. Like, is this guy gonna, be bleeding, during the walkout? I mean, the amount of damage he took against Chris Duncan is very concerning. So I don't know. I don't like that. We talk about fighters being active, and it's good to be active, but sometimes you're too active. Renier de Ridder, too active. I mean, this guy cuts way too much weight. He fought way too much. Kevin Holland, way too active. Why are you fighting again? You just took so much damage against D-Rod 2 months ago. Mateus Rebecki, nobody would blame you if you took an extra month or 2 off after that war against Chris Duncan. So I'm worried about Mateus Rebecki. But yeah, I mean, this could be a decent fight for him. He has a path here with the wrestling potentially. I think this fight is going to be absolute fireworks on the feet. It's a very tough fight to call. Another pick'em type fight, Weezy. Interested to hear your thoughts on this one.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know what to think. Yeah, this is not one I have done the tape on yet, so I'm not exact. And I didn't get to see Rebecki versus Chris Duncan, which I know everybody said was one of the best fights of the year so far. So I'm looking forward to going back and watching that one. But
dude, wait, look at this. Do you want to see his face after that fight?
Yeah, let me check it out.
This guy's fighting 2 months later.
Yeah, that's Jesus. Oh my God! Yeah,
you can't even see. I mean, his eyes are swollen shut. I mean, I've never seen anything like it.
Well, he's at American Top Team.
Yeah.
Go over there, inject him up with something, and he's going to be back. He's going to be good as new in no time.
They still at American Top Team? Because I know for sure Chris Duncan is there, right?
Yeah, they do. They were in the next room to each other while they were training for that fight. Like, Chris Duncan actually said in one of the interviews I was listening to, that he said, I could hear Mateus jerking off at night. Like, that's how close they were, in terms of just like training at the same gym. So yeah, I think he's still there. So and yeah, you said it, man. This guy's taken a lot of damage in all 3 of his last 3 fights. And if Rajabov had been right for that fight, it would probably have been 4 out of the last 5. So and Ludovic Klein, he was somebody that was showing this amazing takedown defense against everybody else but Gamrot. But then Gamrot came in there and just was easily able to get this guy down to the ground and just dominate him on the mat. As a matter of fact, how many? It was 6 takedowns in 8 minutes and 45 seconds of control time. And Gamrot even outworked him at distance because of the threat of the takedown. So somebody like that can wrestle like Rebecki, I think is going to have a little bit of an edge here, because this guy Rebecki is a marauder, Brady.
He is a marauder.
He's an absolute marauder. He comes forward. He's throwing 100% power into everything that he offers. Nasty low leg kicks, mixing in takedowns, big hooks, big power. And his defense numbers aren't that bad for 46 minutes of distance striking to be at 58.5%. That's serviceable. actually. So he throws a lot more volume than Klein does. He offers a lot more offensive takedown attempts than Klein does. I think he's probably the better minute and moment winner in the grappling exchanges of this fight. But Ludovic's got a little bit more pro experience, a little bit more UFC experience. It's a great fight, man. It's a great fight. And I just think that there are ways that Ludovic can get it done if he can do the better work on the feet. I feel like if Mateus can be his usual marauder self and just walk this dude down and be able to take what Ludovic dishes out, not get launched with a head kick, that he could win this fight. So I can't wait to see this one, though, because these guys are going to beat the hell out of each other. But I've got to do all the analysis because I'm sure I'm going to find some angles in this fight. These guys are too good in too many ways for the market to have everything covered. They're going to slip somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, oh gosh, it's a weird fight. I don't know why Rebecki's fighting, man. I mean, gosh, I mean, you should here's another video of it. Look at his face, dude. Look at that.
Yeah, dude, that's
oh my gosh.
Yeah,
take a couple months off, man. His face looks like this in every fight. Like, it's bad. It's so bad.
And the thing is unfortunately, is when you put on fights like Rebecki does, if you call up the UFC and tell them you're ready, they're going to put you on the next card, the next available card, because they want this guy fighting 4 times a year. He's always in awesome fights. That Oral Boy fight was probably one of the best fights of last year.
Yeah.
Everybody that watched the Duncan Rebecki fight said it was one of the best fights of this year. That Carlos Diego Ferreira fight was unforgettable, and then his performance against Rajabov, when he just ran through Rajabov that way, I just remember being like, holy shit, because somebody comes off the Polish regional scene and sometimes you're like, yeah, all right, he looked great there, but he's still got to prove it to me at this level. And then he did that to Loic, and I was like, oh my God, this guy's going to be fun to watch. So I can't wait for this fight. I'm leaning to the Rebecki side because I just think he's a lot more dangerous. But Ludovic is somebody that you don't want to sleep on. This guy, he's 7-3 in the UFC for a reason.
Yeah, what a fight! What a fight! They got Ludovic Klein -131. He actually opened up at +130, currently -131. Rebecki opened up at -150, currently +111. Over under set at 2.5. The over 2.5 is -135. The under 2.5 is +115. Under 0.5 rounds for Rebecki. He might walk out with his face destroyed. I mean, this guy's face gets just busted up. It's crazy.
He's the male Daria Železniakova, who takes the worst damage I've ever seen. Because she's had so much work done on her face, she gets touched twice and she looks like the Elephant Woman.
Right. Rebecki's face after every fight. Yeah, it kind of looks like that. Over 2.5 is -135. Seems like value. It'd be a sweat for sure with these two.
I'm not betting unders in Rebecki fights just for my own health and well-being.
I mean, his face could potentially. I mean, we could get a doctor stoppage potential. One of these days, we're going to get a doctor stoppage. One of these days, it all depends on the commission, because I mean, he should have had 3 doctor stoppage losses by now. You can't see out of his eyes. I mean, they're completely swollen up. I don't get it. Google thinks Joe Pyfer is Rebecki. Both balding. I don't know. Wow, just popped in. Rebecki needs to get some help. Yeah, he took some damage. Rebecki needs the money. He lost a max bet on the under in the Nelson Fervola fight. Makes sense. Makes sense. I think Klein pieces this guy up. I think it's going to come down to the wrestling, whether or not Mateus is able to get that wrestling going there. Rebecki is regressing. I wouldn't doubt it. I mean, when you take that much damage, you're going to be regressing a little bit. The guy goes to war every single fight. All right, moving on to the next fight. We got Ikram Aliskerov going against Jung Young Park. We got Aliskerov, 32 years old, 6 foot with a 76-inch reach. Jung Young Park, 34 years old, 5'10" with a 73-inch reach. We got Ikram, 2 years younger, 2-inch height advantage and a 3-inch reach advantage. We got Ikram Aliskerov, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Had the submission win against Mario de Souza on the Contender Series a couple of years back. Knocked out Phil Hawes in the first round, knocked out Worley Alves in the first round, got knocked out by Robert Whitaker in the first round, then knocked out Andre Beniz in the first round, his last fight. As far as Jung Young Park, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Submission win against Dennis Tuoluen. submission win against Albert Duraev, a decision loss against Andre Muniz, a decision win against Brad Tavares, and then a decision win against Ismail Nardiev. Kind of a weird clash of styles here where we have Ikram Aliskerov, who's just been kind of running through everybody. Jung Young Park is a very fun fighter to watch. This guy's tough. This guy can, push a very hectic pace over the course of 15 minutes. Very good ground game if he does get on top. It's an interesting one. We got Ikram as a decent-sized favorite, I think, minus 240. But, yeah, Park definitely has a path here, but Park could also get brutally knocked out. What are your thoughts on this fight?
It's hard to be confident either way about this fight because Ikram Aliskerov has given us 11 minutes of fight time in the UFC over 4 fights. And, I mean, he knocked out Phil Hawes, who most recently just got knocked out by a hot shower at Planet Fitness.
Oh, God.
Warley Alves is turbo washed, and he knocked out Warley Alves. Robert Whittaker runs through him in the first round, and then Andre Muniz, who has one of the most glass chins in the entire division, he knocks him out. So what have we learned? He gets a first-round submission against Mario Sosa on Dana White's Contender Series. But the fight before that, he fights Nishan Burrell in Eagle FC, a journeyman regional scene guy, and he looks awful, Brady. The last time that we've seen Ikram Aliskerov go to a second round was against Nishan Burrell. It was 6 fights ago. And this guy had nothing in rounds 2 and 3. He looked awful in that fight.
Oh.
I'm not even sure that he won it. I mean, if you go and you watch that fight, you're like, whoa, what happens if it gets out of the first round? Does this guy have any cardio at all? Could he push? Like, if he were to wrestle heavy in round 1, is he going to have anything left in the tank in rounds 2 and 3? And another thing that I'm willing to ask is, does this guy have power?
Yeah, oh yeah.
Does he? I mean, because knocking out Phil Hawes is meaningless. Knocking out Andre Muniz is meaningless. Anybody knocks those guys out. Warley Alves is done. So, I mean, I don't even know if Aliskerov has power. We know that this guy's got elite sambo. We know this guy's from Makachala, Russia, so he can wrestle. He showed a really nice Kimura finish in a couple of different fights. So he's got good grappling, good top control when he does get takedowns. I mean, he's clearly a talented fighter. But in terms of like me trying to come up with a cogent argument on how to bet on or against Ikram Aliskerov, I'm not exactly sure how to shape that argument because I still don't know what this guy really is at this level. I'm still waiting for him to go to a second round in the UFC. This guy's average fight time is 2.8 minutes at this level. So, I mean, I've seen him go into a third round with Dennis Tialulin. We didn't learn much there. Saw him get violently knocked out by Khamzat Chimaev on the regional scene. That was a fight that they brought in Chimaev to lose because Aliskerov was previously the big Dagestani prospect. But then the Chechen came in there and nuked him on the feet with one of the most nasty uppercuts. So, like, when you see how Khamzat violently knocked out Aliskerov, when you see how Whittaker violently knocked out Aliskerov, I'm worried about Aliskerov's conditioning. I'm worried about his durability. I don't even know if this guy really has great heart or not because he didn't really show much in the Nishan Burrell fight, which is the last time I saw this guy go past the first round. So I don't know what to think here, but I do know one thing. If this fight gets past round 1, I think Jun Young Park's going to turn up, and I think he's going to be a problem, man. Because, Andre Muniz was wrestling for his life, and he was gassed after a round and a half there, but he just kept in on Park's hips, and I think Park probably did win that fight, but he was credited with a loss. So I don't know, man. Like, Park could be on a 5-fight win streak right now. The wins over Duraev was a nice one. Tavares was decent. Nardiev's, at least a young fighter that's got some upside. So, yeah, man, I'm interested in the Park side this week because I just kind of feel like if he makes it through round 1 with this guy, Park's conditioning, his output in all areas of MMA is excellent. I don't think we can say the same about Ikram Aliskerov. So, Could be interesting. Ikram round 1, or maybe Jun Young Park takes over this fight in the second half.
Yeah, maybe. It's a weird one. It's definitely a really weird fight. Yeah, we just don't know. We don't know much about Ikram.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been making a lot of money on him, but I don't like this matchup for him. Like, I don't think it's gonna be an easy matchup. Not knocking out Under. I mean, Muniz has one of the worst chins ever. Hawes has probably an even worse chin than Under Muniz somehow.
Somehow.
Yeah. But I also think Park's a little inconsistent too. Like, how are you losing to Muniz? And I know I thought he won. I thought he won as well. But why is it even that close? I mean, Muniz kind of stinks. I don't know. It is probably a dogger pass, but you could again end up looking pretty stupid if he goes out there and knocks this guy out. But yeah, Park plus 205 does have some interest for me. Park live bet potentially does have some interest. I think we might find out a little bit about Ikram, because I don't think he's going to knock out Park in round 1. At least I don't think. But yeah, well, I think we're going to find out a little bit. We're going to find out about his cardio, his heart, all that. And this is the fight we're going to finally find out, I hope.
Agreed. Yeah, this is going to be an interesting one, because, like I say, the longer it goes on, and the more comfortable Park gets in there, we'll see if how hard Aliskerov can wrestle here. Because if he can't wrestle consistently for 3 rounds and he gets tired, you don't want to get tired against Jun Young Park.
Yeah. But yeah, it's interesting. So Aliskerov opened up minus 300. He's currently minus 240. Park opened up plus 250, currently plus 205. What I find very interesting is the total. It seems like the biggest trap in the world, so I'm just going to stay away. But the under 2.5 rounds is minus 110. It's like Ikram hasn't even seen a second round. But again, like I said, it seems like a trap. Like, this fight's probably going over.
Yeah, because you don't know if, Aliskerov truly does have finishing power, because the 3 guys that he's finished at this level, are guys that just aren't UFC level right now. And when he fought Nishan Burrell in Eagle FC, he couldn't get that guy out of there,
Yeah.
So, it could be a trap. But Jun Young Park, his fights have finished inside the distance 5 of 12 times. But Aliskerov has 4 fights in the UFC, and they've all finished in round 1. So
Yeah, it just feels like a big trap.
Feels like it should be an under, but probably means bet the over and bet it big.
Yeah. Seems like there's a lot of value on this under in an Ikram fight where I don't even think he's fought 12.5 minutes yet in the UFC, but
yeah,
probably
I could see Aliskerov getting starched in the second, and then them bringing him back into the cage on a stretcher and starting the clock up again.
Exactly. Park as a dog, vet lesson. I know Ikram is more of a round 1 guy, but Ikram decision seems interesting because Park is durable. Yeah, Park is very durable. The only person that's knocked him out was Gregory Rodriguez. Iron Turtles, badly underrated. Agreed. The turtle needs to shell up in round 1. There you go. That's smart. Park is durable. He needs to put the pace on Ikram from the very beginning. Yeah, he needs to try to.
Agreed.
Park isn't going into Abu Dhabi and beating Ikram. Yeah, we'll see.
It's a tall order.
It is a tall order.
Yeah.
Going to splits with Muniz is a terrible look. And I thought the Brad Tavares fight was a horrible look as well. But he also looked really good against Nardiev. So it's like, I don't know. I don't know about Jun Young Park. Park wasn't looking good against Nardiev until Nardiev Nardiev was kind of beating him up a little bit. I think Aliskerov is better than Nardiev. Yeah. That's why I think maybe a live bet could be better. Is Park even close to Whitaker's winner level? Not really, but Whitaker I do think is getting into the wash category at this point. And then Park could possibly be one of those value losers that everyone plays thinking he has a shot. Yeah, maybe the fight looks minus 110 and Ikram gets like a split decision win. I could see it. I'm probably not touching this fight, to be honest. All right.
And let me just say that the difference between Whitaker, right, the guy that beat Aliskerov, and then Aliskerov's best win is massive. So, like, just because he lost to Whitaker, it doesn't mean that Jun Young Park, who's somewhere in the middle here, who's better than all these other guys that Aliskerov has beaten, but not quite as good as somebody like Robert Whitaker. It doesn't mean that he can't beat Aliskerov, because we haven't seen Aliskerov really get a great UFC win yet over somebody that has a pulse at this point.
Yeah, it's true. It's true. And Park's wins aren't that great. Park's best win is probably Joseph Uglyman Holmes.
Yikes! Is that the
I'm
best one?
I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
Holy shit! You scared me. I'm like, he just made an asshole out of me. If Holmes is his best win, what am I talking about?
I'm just kidding. It's probably Eric Anders back in 20.
And I think Anders did win that fight, though.
Then his best win's probably Marc-Andre Barrio back in the day.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the Duraev win was great because there was a great dance there, and he
Yeah.
broke him. He broke him in half.
Yeah. I wish Duraev was back in the UFC so we can fade him.
I know, man. He sucks, dude.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, I think Park's a very live dog, but I'm not. It also feels like everything about this fight just feels like a trap to me, so I'm just probably going to stay away. It probably is a trap. All right, let's move on to this next fight. We got Nasrat Haqparast going against Quillen. We got to bring Joseph Ugly Man Holmes back in the. Remember that guy?
1 round of cardio. Slow as molasses in January. He was fun to watch.
We got to do Joseph Holmes versus Nick Klein. So who has the better cardio?
Oh my God, that's genius. That is
Somebody's got to win.
genius. Oh my God, dude! Nick Klein was supposed to fight next week, but he had to pull out. He got hurt. I forgot, and I think it might be.
No, he pulled out.
Dude. You know what? Cedriquez is stepping in for Nick Klein.
No way.
To fight Dante Johnson. I think that's the fight that got made. Yeah.
Wait, so it was supposed to be Dante Johnson versus Nick Klein?
I believe so.
Crap, were they trying to set up a murder?
Yeah, I know, man. I know.
Wow.
That's what I said too, because I'm like, oh my God. I mean, if you think Joseph Holmes has bad cardio, wait till you see Nick Klein, you know.
But Nick Klein is blue collar though. He's blue collar.
Yeah, I like Nick. I mean, I wish I think, and I don't know if it's bad cardio because sometimes it's just an adrenaline dump because fighting, you know, isn't a natural thing, you know, for a lot of these guys. So yeah, it was supposed to be Dante Johnson, Nick Klein. So now Dumas is taking it on short notice.
That's next week will be a fun week.
Yeah.
As long as I don't lose a bet that I win, I'll show up and it'll be fun.
There we go.
Yeah. All right, and this fight's gonna be fun as well. We got Nasrat Haqparast going against Quillen Salkil. But Haqparast, 30 years old, 5'10" with a 72-inch reach. Salkil, 25 years old, 6 foot with a 75-inch reach. Salkil is 5 years younger, 2-inch height advantage, 3-inch reach advantage. Haqparast, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Decision win against John McDessie. Decision win against Lana Quinones. Knockout win against Jamie Malarkey. Decision win against Jared Gordon. And a decision win against Esteban Rubic. Quillen Salkil, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Made his debut against Anshul Jubilee, knocked him out in the first round, and then beat Yanal Ashmos by decision. So I think quietly, Haqparast has been very good. And I think quietly he's a very good fighter. I mean, some of these wins, like him beating Esteban Rubic, that was a very good win. It was a close fight, but a very good win nonetheless. Same thing with Jared Gordon. Very close fight. I actually scored the fight for Gordon, but, you know, a very good win. He's on a decent win streak here. But all the hype is on Salkil. All the hype is on, you know, the new guy, the young guy, very big, very long, good volume, really good grappling. The hype is on Salkil, but Haqparast has been getting it done. This is the closest line fight on the entire card. I'd say it's a striker versus grappler matchup in a way where, you know, Salkil can definitely strike, don't get me wrong, but I think it would probably serve him right to go for takedowns. He attempted like 1 million takedowns against Ashmos. So yeah, kind of a striker versus grappler matchup. Pick'em type fight. This was another one that kind of got thrown on last second not too long ago, which would in theory would definitely favor Haqparast because Salkil's coming from Australia, ain't he?
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, that's not good. It's not good.
Dude. And I was working on the stats all of last week because it takes me a while to do them. And this fight wasn't on this card until at least 48 hours ago.
Oh my gosh.
So I'm telling you right now, this is them pulling an opponent that's not Muslim out of the hopper to get Nasrat Haqparast a big win in Abu Dhabi, where he's originally from Morocco, obviously going to have a big hometown following there. He got, I don't know, the Ribovic fight wasn't in Abu Dhabi, but the Gordon fight was.
Dude, I'm on Salkil's Instagram. He was just on a plane like less than 24 hours ago.
Yeah, dude, I'm telling you, man, they just made this fight.
Holy crap.
So Nasrat's already there. I guarantee you. I promise you, dude, he's already in Abu Dhabi. They were probably trying to, you know, I was wondering why he wasn't on this card, actually, because he's been on a 7-month layoff, and his last 2 fights have been, his last 3 or 4 fights have been fire. That Rebecki fight was awesome. That Gordon fight was awesome. That knockout of Malarkey was fantastic. And, dude, the Landon Quinones fight was great.
Great fight.
Landon Quinones puts on a show out there. He hasn't gotten any wins yet, but he's looked really good, I thought. So, yeah, man, Haqparast, really good takedown defense too, Brady. 85% over 14 UFC fights. Nasrat has spent 85% of his UFC octagon time at distance striking range. So his opponents have had very little success trying to take this guy down and hold him down. And Haqparast has got great movement and great distance management at distance striking range. So he's a difficult target to find out there. I think Nasrat's going to win this one, man. I think he's going to stuff a lot of the takedowns here. I think he's going to land the bigger shots on the feet. And with this being in Abu Dhabi, if it does go to decision and Quillin isn't getting to dominant positions with his grappling, I think Nasrat's going to win this fight on damage. Or even if he doesn't, the Abu Dhabi judges will probably say that he does.
Yeah, no, I lean that way as well, especially with the circumstances surrounding, Sal killed here. There isn't a ton of really footage out there of Haqparast stuff and takedowns, is there? I know he's been in the UFC for a long time, though, so I have to see. I know he got taken down. I remember the Dan Hooker fight; he got taken down 3 times. But has anybody really tried to grapple him? Marcin held back in the day.
Yeah. 7 takedowns that he's only been taken on 7 times in 14 UFC fights, and that's on 46 attempts against.
Oh, wow, that's a lot.
So he has, but like you're right though, because there's a lot of fights where he's seeing no takedown attempts.
Yeah.
And he's just allowed to strike, like the Makdessi fight. I don't think Quinones was really trying to wrestle him. Malarkey, I don't know if he did or not, but I know Rebecki didn't. Like these guys were just standing and banging.
Yeah. Yeah. I lean the Haqparast way as well. But, I mean, this guy's Sal kill is just relentless. I mean, this guy attempted 23 takedowns in his last fight. I mean,
I know. And that's what makes this really interesting. Because, like we saw Dan Hooker get 3 takedowns on 7 attempts and get 7 minutes of control time. Well, that's on 7 attempts. Salkill might shoot 20.
He probably will. I mean, in the Gage Young fight, he attempted 22.
So, yeah, but like how many attempts is he going to be able to take? It's like they waited just long enough to be like, oh, you think you can make it from Australia to Abu Dhabi to fight a Muslim on about 8 days' notice? What do you think, Quillin? It's a good matchup for you. This guy doesn't like to grapple. They're doing everything that they can to make sure that Quillin can't shoot 20 takedowns. They're hoping that this guy hasn't been in the gym. They're hoping that they can get Nasrat the win in Abu Dhabi here. So I think they waited just long enough that maybe he won't be able to push that kind of a heavy pace, but we'll see.
Yeah. So yeah, it's about a pick 'em. Sal killed -115, Haqparast -105. Over under set at 2.5. The over 2.5 -200. The under 2.5 +174. So yeah, we'll see where the line kind of goes throughout the week. Colby like in Haqparast time. Dumas getting piped on site. Too bad it couldn't happen to a better dude. Yeah, he's a great dude, right?
That's
Dumas.
right, philanthropist.
Absolutely. We got Curtis Clark in the building. What's up, Curtis Clark? Hedge Fund saying this feels like a break, step down in competition for Nasrat Haqparast, yet something about Salkild is making it tough to pull the trigger. I think Salkild, I think this guy's the real deal, but still a little bit unproven. The Jubilee win, I mean, that doesn't really count. How it goes, decent
doesn't
win.
Count.
It doesn't count. But this is going to be a good test for Salkild, I think.
Yeah.
Poor Jubilee versus poor. That'd be a good fight. Jubilee versus Weston Wilson. Somebody's got to win, right?
Yeah,
right?
Weston Wilson would have to move up to 155 to fight Jubilee, but I still like that for him.
Yeah,
that's a good fight.
Give me Wilson there. Give me Wilson. All right, let's move on to the next fight. It is, Alexander Rakic going against Azamat Mzakanov. We got Alexander Rakic, 33 years old, 6'4", with a 78-inch reach. Azamat Mzakanov, I think you made a mistake here. You said he's 36. He's like in his 70s, Mzakanov. I think might have made a mistake. He said he was born in 89. I think he was born in like 69.
1889.
Okay, 1889. Yes, because this guy Mzakanov, he's over 100 years old. This guy is not anywhere near 36. I mean, if this guy's 36 years old, it's just not. It's not a thing. So, but yeah, Rakic is definitely the younger guy by a mile. Rakic is going to have a 6-inch height advantage and a 7-inch reach advantage. Rakic is 2-3 in his last 5 fights. A decision win against Anthony Smith, decision win against Thiago Santos, a knockout loss to Blachowicz, knockout loss to Prochazka, and a decision loss to Magomed Ankalaev. As far as Azamat Murzakanov, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. A knockout win against Tafan Nchukwu, knockout win against Devin Clark, decision win against Dustin Jacoby, knockout win against Alonzo Menafield, and then a knockout win against Frenson Ribeiro. So this is another pick'em type fight. Got a couple of those on this card. And this is a very, very tough fight to call because Alexander Rakic, first and foremost, he's going to be younger by a couple decades younger. He's much big. I mean, this guy's 6'4" with a 78-inch reach. He's much bigger. And the level of competition difference is just day and night. And like Rakic has a ton of things that I like. The only thing I don't like is this guy hasn't won a fight in 5 years. I mean, it's literally been almost 5 years since this guy's won a fight. And all Azamat Murzakanov does is win. I mean, this guy's 15-0. I mean, he looks unstoppable out there. But, this guy Rakic hasn't won in like 5 years. Had that nasty knee injury against Jan Blachowicz 3.5 years ago. Took a lot of damage against Yuri and then lost to Magomed Ankalaev. But at the same time, it's like these are all former champions he's losing to. So I don't know, man. It's a really tricky fight. I think there's a ton of reasons to like Rakic, but is he regressing? Is he declining at 33 years old, or is he just fighting, the top guys? So I don't know. Tough one to call. What are your thoughts on this one?
Yeah, I mean, it's like, can Azamat keep getting away with this?
I don't know.
Because like he's this, like if you were to look at him, you'd pick that guy out of a crowd and be like, I could beat that guy. And, like I could beat him in a foot race. Like I'm faster than that guy. You're not faster than Azamat. Azamat's faster than everybody. Like it's like it's like when you see a fat guy start, like busting out handsprings. You're like, how the fuck did that guy do that? And it's like that's how Azamat is in their striking. It's like, how is he this fast? Like he's so fast. And like he's so fast that like you can tell fighters get in there with him and they're like, this just doesn't feel right. You remember how Dustin Jacoby just shut down and did nothing for 3 rounds?
Yeah.
He was terrified. Like he got countered on the first 2 shots that he threw, and he was like, wait a second. I didn't see either of those coming. They both landed. I don't know how he does it. This guy doesn't get any takedowns. He doesn't grapple. Look at this fucking guy.
Dude, this picture was 426 weeks ago. This guy was like, how old did he say he was in this picture? Because there's no way. Look at that.
426 weeks. That's like 9 years, dude.
Dude, this guy was like, what, 20, 25, 26 in this picture? There's no way.
He's supposed to be 27 there. Your age, Brady.
Yeah, right.
If I saw you and him together, like looking at that, I'd be like, oh, is this your dad?
Right. That's insane to me. There's no way he's such a liar.
But Azamat is faster than that motorcycle.
I know, he's so good. He's amazing. He's a professional.
He really is the professional. He's the professional, man. Like he doesn't look like he can do it, but he can do it. I mean, I don't know, man. Azamat's like one of these. He's a unicorn. He's bizarre to watch, dude. Like he's always on his toes. He's always springing back and forth. He's very low volume, but when he throws, man, it lands and it lands heavy, and he can get just about anybody out of there. But Rakic, I mean, you put these guys next to each other, and you would ask anybody that doesn't know shit about MMA, like, all right, who's winning this fight? Everybody's picking Rakic. He's way bigger than this guy. He's way more muscular. He's 6 inches taller. He's got a 7-inch reach advantage. He's got crazy low leg kicks. I mean, this guy is just, I mean, he's a problem, but this guy Azamat, man, I mean, he just keeps knocking people out. But like you did mention, dude, look at the last 5 names for Rakic. Magomed Ankalaev, Yuri Prohaska, Jan Blachowicz, Thiago Santos, Anthony Smith. Smith fought for the title. Thiago Santos went 5 rounds with John Jones. Jan Blachowicz was the title holder. Yuri Prohaska was a champion. Magomed Ankalaev was a champion. Mzakonov's last 5 opponents are Brenson Ribeiro, Alonzo Menafield, who got knocked out by Elberg in 8 seconds, and who on purpose went to go train with Pat Barry.
Oh, God.
Can you imagine taking like advice from somebody who can't even string a sentence together?
No.
I mean,
no.
Devin Clark before that, and then Tafon and Nchukwi before that. And he even lost the first 2 rounds that Nchukwi fight.
He did, yeah.
And then launched himself into the air and landed a flying knee that just deaded Nchukwi. I mean, like, dude, this guy, I mean, I don't know. I don't know who's winning this fight, dude.
Me either.
It's probably going to be Azamat. He's probably just going to fucking flatline this dude. You're going to be like, he keeps getting away with it.
Getting away with it, yeah. Because I've bet against, I know I bet against Azamat against Jacoby, and just frustrated. I mean, this guy's a professional, man. He's good. He's good.
We were both on Jacoby against Azamat, weren't we?
Yeah, I was yelling at the TV for Jacoby to do something. This guy was gassed out 3rd round.
Yeah,
Jacoby was like
clinching up with him.
Why are you clinching him up, dude? You're a strike. You're a kickboxer.
Yeah,
I don't know. Just flip a coin on it. We should do the Dan from Half the Battle. Flip a coin on it. He's been doing those coin flips, and he's been having success with those coin flips. And
hey, sometimes you don't know, man. I mean, like sometimes the matchmakers do a phenomenal job, and you don't know who's going to win, dude. And there's a lot of good fights on this card where the matchmakers really did a great job. A lot of pick'em fights. Love to see it.
Yeah. There's 1, 2, 3. There's like 4 pick'em type fights on this card. Even the Dern Jandiroba fight was a pick'em for a while up until recently. So they got like 4 pick'em fights, and I'm not too confident in really any of them. Like Al-Saadi, Camilo, like I don't know. Delgado Wood, you can make strong cases for both guys.
Yeah. I
guess Haqparast would be the guy I feel best about. And then this fight. So that's very interesting this week. Poor Jubilee versus poor Rustin Wilson. Mzakanov retired. Yeah, if Rakic loses this fight, he'll be on a 4-fight skid. And again, this guy hasn't won a fight in like 5 years. It's crazy. Azamat's about to go 0-2 in October. Real ones have Azamat. He's on the good vitamins. The professional with no gas today. He has horrible cardio, but he makes it work. He has like 2 third-round finishers against Devin Clark and Tafon. It makes no sense. This guy makes no sense. It's crazy. Absolutely crazy. Azamat faster than the kid from Superbad. Yeah, this guy's fast, man. This guy's fast. Azamat was down 0-2. Yeah, Weezy brought this up. 0-2 against Tafon, gassed out and landed a Hail Mary. Rakic is on another level. Yeah, I think there's good reasons to like Rakic, but you'd have to be betting against a professional, which is it's terrifying. Yeah, definitely terrifying. All right, let's get. This has to be like a cursed picture. I mean, this is the most terrifying picture I've ever seen. There's no way. This is a 27-year-old man. I'm 27. I don't look like that. That's crazy. That's insane to me. Absolutely insane that this guy's 27. There's no way. Absolutely no way. But yeah, he's a liar. Just like Jairzinho Rosenstruck, lying about their heights, lying about their ages. Not a big fan of liars.
Take us into the next fight. I'll be right back.
All right, gotcha. All right, next fight is a good one in the heavyweight division. It is going to be Alexander Volkov going against Jailton Almeida. We got Volkov, 36 years old, 6'7" with an 80-inch reach. We got Almeida, 34 years old, 6'3" with a 79-inch reach. We got Jailton Almeida, 2 years younger. Volkov with a 4-inch height advantage and a 1-inch reach advantage. Volkov is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Beat Jairzinho Rosenstruck by knockout. Knocked out Alexander Romanov. Submitted Taito Ivasa, and then beat Sergey Pavlovich by decision and lost by decision against Cyril Gane. I mean, that was probably one of the worst robberies of the year, to be honest. I thought it was a pretty clear Volkov win, which is interesting that they put this fight and they put Volkov on the same card as Cyril Gane, Tom Aspinall, when it probably should be Volkov, fighting for a title. I really thought he beat Cyril Gane. I really don't think it was really even debatable. But yeah, Volkov lost to Gane. As far as Jailton Almeida, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Submitted Jairzinho Rozenstruik, beat Derek Lewis by decision, got knocked out by Curtis Blades in the second round, submitted Alexander Romanov in the first, and then knocked out Sergey Spivak in the first round as well. So, yeah, it's a very good fight here. Jailton Almeida is a decent-sized favorite, minus 230. Volkov is plus 195, and I think the reason that, money is coming in on Jailton is, I mean, Volkov, this guy on paper has good takedown defense. I think it's like 75, 76%, but I mean, he's been taken down so much in the UFC. A lot of those were against Curtis Blades, but we also saw Tom Aspinall, take him down with little to no resistance. And then we saw, Cyril Gane, it took him down with little to no resistance. I mean, he made Cyril Gane look like Khabib Nurmagomedov out there, in the first round. Gane was able to take him down a couple times, and Gane was actually able to attempt a couple submissions on Volkov. So I think Jailton has a real path here in terms of getting the fight down to the ground. I don't think it'll be that hard to do so. And I think although Volkov's a brown belt, I think there's a massive levels difference in terms of the BJJ. But I also wouldn't be laying minus 230 on Jailton. I worry about Jailton. I don't think this guy likes getting hit. I don't think this guy's a good nail. Like if Volkov is able to stuff some takedowns, if Volkov is able to extend this fight, we could see Jailton, pretty much kind of quit in that Curtis Blades fight. I hate when guys do that. When they go in for a takedown and they get elbowed to the side of the head, and instead of, changing positions, maybe, lifting up your head or just stay there and get TKO'd via elbows. Like I hate when guys do that. Like it makes no sense to me. So that kind of happened. So yeah, I think I like violence here in this matchup. I think Almeida will be getting takedowns early. I think he will be getting to dominant positions. I think a submission is on the table. But if Volkov extends this fight, stuff some takedowns, it wouldn't shock me if Volkov was able to knock out Almeida, who I don't think really likes getting hit. And not liking to get hit in the heavyweight division, it could be a problem. So I'm going Almeida, but I really don't love the line. Minus 230 now. Yeah, money's pouring in on Almeida. Gee, he's minus 155 last week, October 13th, October 14th, and now he's minus 230. So yeah, money's coming in on Almeida, minus 230 now. What are your thoughts on this fight? And I got to go take a piss as well.
Yeah, man, I'm kind of surprised it moved that much, but yeah, that's a big line. But Jailton Almeida is a dominant fighter, and you bet on dominant fighters. They get the job done. He's absorbing 0.9 significant strikes per minute over 9 UFC fights in a 61-minute sample size. Jailton Almeida only spends 10.5% of his UFC octagon time at distance striking range, and he outcontrols his opponents 84.2% to 5.3%, winning 94% of the control time positions in his fights. His wrestling is elite. His Brazilian jiu-jitsu is elite. His top control is elite. His ground and pound is elite. I don't really see a lot of other ways that this fight goes other than Jailton Almeida getting takedowns whenever he fucking wants them, getting to dominant positions, looking to finish fights against Alexander Volkov, who we've seen finish twice at the UFC level. And the Aspinall fight was the worst look there. But like you said, we've seen other guys get him down. We saw, Curtis Blades, take him down a number of different times there. That was a fun fight that lasted 5 rounds. And, Volkov gave him all he could handle and had some success late in that fight. But I don't think that he's going to be getting back up when Jailton takes him down. And I think Jailton's going to take him down and finish him, dude. I mean, that's what this guy does. His stats are about as dominant as they can get. Brady, these are the 3 stats that I dropped out. 0.9 significant strikes absorbed per minute by Jailton Almeida. He gets hit less than 1 time per minute. He only spends 10.5% of his UFC octagon time at distance striking range, and that other 89.5% that's spent in grappling time positions, he's winning 94% of those positions. He's finished 7 of his 8 UFC wins, with the only one that he didn't finish being on purpose so that he could cash the steakhouse bet of all steakhouse bets. A fight goes to decision that was priced at plus 2,000.
Fixed fight. Yeah, that was a fixed fight.
Yeah.
That was a fixed fight. No, I agree. I think we're both going Jarlton early finish. I just can envision a way this goes poorly. Like I can see it in my head that this could go poorly, but yeah, I think Jarlton gets him down. I don't think it's going to be hard to get him down. And then once Jarlton gets on top, he has the choice. I mean, he can pound on you.
Mm-hmm.
He can pound on you, potentially TKO you. Like remember, he pounded on a poor handsome Shamil and finished him, or he can sub you. He can pound you. He can sub you. So, yeah, I think Jarlton gets it done. I think he gets it done early. The total's kind of interesting. The over-under set at 1.5. A lot of Jarlton fights that went under. And I'm talking, like, most of them. Like, all but, like, 2 or 3.
Yeah. What is the under?
It's minus 105. So, money came in on the under. It was plus 125, but...
Yeah, I mean, 6 of 7 Jarlton Almeida fights have finished under 1.5 rounds that have been scheduled for 3 rounds, and all 7 finished in rounds 1 or 2. So only 1 of the 8 fights made it past the 7.5 minute mark, and I think the one that didn't make it much.
The Shamil fight,
yeah, it was just a little bit over. So yeah, I mean, an under 1.5 at minus 105. Jarlton is as dominant of a grappler as this division is ever going to see.
Yep, I think he's probably the second best. No, he's probably the first best wrestler because he took down Blades 8 times. So,
yeah,
I guess he's the first best wrestler in the U.S. That's crazy,
dude. If his joystick hadn't broke when he was in on that fucking takedown, because it was exactly what happened. Like he shot in for the takedown, he got the single leg, and then it's just like he slumped. Like it was like somebody unplugged my fucking controller here, and then the fight was over.
That's crazy, dude. Yeah, I mean. That's crazy. Jarlton took Blades down 9 times. Jarlton's the better wrestler. There it is. There's your proof. 9
who's stopping a Jarlton Almeida takedown?
Nobody. I mean, it's just not possible to do so.
Like if you stop one, he gets the next one, and he hasn't like released his grip either.
Yeah,
like you can't get away from this guy, man. There's no room. There's not an octagon big enough to say like. It would have to be as big as the Mojave Desert for you to just be able to run the other direction and hope that this guy never catches up to you. That's the only way he's not getting a hold of you and dragging you down. You
know my prediction is I think we're going to see the first time in UFC history. I think Jarlton's going to throw Volkov out of the cage. I think he's going to pick him up. I think he's going to topple over the cage.
Is it going to be a suplex?
He's going to lift him up and he's going to throw him out of the cage. Watch. You heard it here first. Is that a TKO? Does it count as a TKO or what?
I think it is a TKO, man.
It gotta be something. Gotta be something.
The commission will throw him back in the cage. Fight's still on.
Yep. Let's restart it. I did not see the video of Volkov in the mosh pit. I'll have to take a look. Is it on his Instagram? Wait, I do think I see it here. Oh gosh, are you talking about this? Oh my goodness. That is terrifying.
Yeah, he's really into speed metal.
Oh wow. Yeah, maybe we should switch our pick then. Yeah. And then this is the video of it apparently. Wow. Yeah.
Jarlton Almeida pins everyone in that arena, including the dudes with the masks on.
That's true. Wow. Okay. So yeah. Anyway, yeah, we'll see. Fight does it go minus 400?
Yeah.
Oh God, Jarlton ITD minus 160. Yeah, that's great. Pretty much his money line. I mean, geez. Jarlton KO plus 360. Jarlton sub plus 130. Yeah, I don't know, man. Kind of like the under. Kind of like the fight won't start round 3, but we'll see. Volkov versus Gane was suspiciously convenient for the UFC, wasn't it? Yes, very suspicious.
Yeah, they got the fight they wanted, though.
This is what I'm worried about. Jarlton gets him down in round 1. Yeah, no problem. Volkov starts stuffing them in round 2, and then Volkov gets a late finish. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm worried about. The fight goes past 1 round. Can Jarlton win? I'd say so, but yeah, the Blades fight just wasn't. It was just a really weird look. Volkov's
I think the better question, though, is can Volkov last one round with Charlton?
It's going to be tough. It's not going to be easy.
Yeah, man.
It's not going to be easy. Volkov technique has gotten much improved. I think it has, but Cyril Gane took him down twice. It's just not the best look. Charlton equals heavyweight Merab. Yeah, without the crazy cardio, but the wrestling is incredible. Yeah. Very strong, and the grappling is very high level. Would be a TKO out of the TKO out of the cage. There you go. Yeah, maybe I'll bet Jonathan K. I bet Jonathan KO in his last fight against Sergey Spivak. That was a great bet.
Dude. I remember I cashed the take this job and shove it parlay with the Jonathan knockout because I had Ranier to Ritter by submission over Kevin Holland, and then there was a fight that I had. I think it was Grant Dawson by decision or something, but we hit all three legs. Wow. And it came out at like 34-1. And remember, Jonathan finished the knockout, I think, with like 5 seconds left in the round.
Yep.
And Jason Herzog was the ref, and he stopped the fight. That's when you bought the Team Herzog shirt.
Yeah, it was that fight where I bought the Team Herzog shirt that I haven't worn on stream yet because my wife wears it for bedtime. It's like that's like her nighttime shirt. Is that Herzog? It's a nice shirt. I can't blame her.
Yeah, there you go.
All right. Goes to decision plus 300 is solid. Maybe, man. I mean, I don't know. Jonathan's dangerous, but maybe Jonathan bets on the fight goes. He's done it before.
If he does, he'll get it. He'll just lay in top position all.
He doesn't mind cashing a GTD bet. Jonathan doesn't get an early finish. He's going to be hugging him and holding position. It's not that there can't be a finish late, but most of it is loaded in Jonathan round one. Yeah, I think most of it's definitely loaded to Jonathan round one, first round and a half. The Herzog shirt to bet is crazy work. I would tend to agree. Let's not forget that. Well, that was a fixed fight. People are going to look at. I mean, that's why I got such a good price on the Spivak violence and the Romanov violence. People are looking at the Blades fight. That was a fixed fight. That fight, people shouldn't look into it. Jonathan and his buddies were eating very good after cat. I mean, the fight doesn't go as like -3. I kid you not, -2,000 to some books had it -3,000.
DraftKings opened it at -10,000, Brady.
Oh my God.
That is not a joke. That is not a joke. They opened it at -10,000. They were literally like, please don't bet this.
Yeah. Fixed fight.
Yeah.
If I've ever seen one. Yep. All right. Let's keep moving on to the next fight. We got Umar Nurmagomedov going against Mario Bautista. We got Nurmagomedov, 29 years old, 5'8" with a 69-inch reach. Mario Bautista, 32 years old, 5'9" with a 69-inch reach. We got Umar 3 years younger. We got Mario with a 1-inch height advantage, same reach there. Umar Nurmagomedov, 4-1 in his last 5 fights. A decision win against Nate Maness, a knockout win against Jaime Barcelos, a decision win against Baksat Almakan, a decision win against Corey Sandhagen, and a decision loss against Merab Dvalishvili. As far as Mario Bautista, 5-0 in his last 5 fights. Submission win against Guido Canetti, decision win against Damon Blackshear, decision win against Ricky Simone, decision win against Jose Aldo, and then a decision win against Patchy Mix. And yeah, I mean, Umar's the biggest favorite on the card. Money, I mean, the Parlay boys are doing their job, Weezy. I mean, this guy's like -650 on some books now. I wouldn't be surprised if we saw Umar get up to like -800 or maybe even wider. Because, I mean, how can you not pick Umar in this fight? And I think he's, better everywhere. I think he's the better striker. I think he has a clear path. Unlike Patchy Mix, I think he's going to take this clear path here, get Mario Bautista down to the mat. And it's not like Mario Bautista is a bad fighter by any means. It's just I think Umar's on another level. I mean, if that Merab Dvalishvili fight was a 3-round fight, I mean, Rob would have beat Merab, or Umar would have beat Merab. This fight's a 3-round fight. We don't got to worry about the cardio. And I don't even think, Umar has bad cardio. I just think he was going against Merab. So, yeah, I think Umar wins. Very confident he wins. The market agrees with that. I'm not confident on how he wins. I could see, Batista's been knocked out before by, who did he get knocked out by before?
Trevin Jones.
Trevin Jones. So we could see an Umar knockout. We saw Bautista submitted by Corey Sandhagen back in the day. We could see an Umar submission. We could see Bautista lose his very first decision. Yeah, I could see Umar win by any which method. So I don't know. You got knockout is +700. Okay. Submission is +375. The decision's -175. So they're saying he wins by decision, but I mean, I think it could be any method. Weezy, what are your thoughts on this matchup here?
I mean, I think that there's probably a lot more value on the finish prop just because
Yeah.
Batista's been finished in both of his losses. So and Umar can, he's got really precise striking. He can find a knockout. He can obviously find a submission if Bautista makes any mistakes on the mat. But Batista's a very good minute winner. He's 7-0 to the decision as a professional. So, he's not going to be easy to go out there and just like try to point fight with because Mario is going to do more. Mario attempts 16.6 distance strikes per minute while Umar attempts less than 10. Bautista will mix in takedowns. He's good in the clinch. He's strong. He's big for the division. Umar is going to be bigger than most of bantamweights, but he's not going to be bigger than Mario. So I think that Umar is going to have to try to find success with the grappling here, but Mario Bautista is a very efficient grappler. So it's going to be an interesting fight, but Umar in Abu Dhabi, a guy that has done a phenomenal job of just winning minutes wherever the fight goes by having a tremendously well-rounded and precise skill set, good game planning, good coaching. He should be able to get the job done here. I'd be really surprised if Mario Bautista got his hand raised against Umar Nurmagomedov, because the one thing that these Dagestanis don't ever do is show up injured for a fight, show up less than 100% for a fight. Yeah. They take off a year between fights. They make sure that they prepare for that opponent, that they have a good game plan, and that they're 100% healthy. Otherwise, they don't show. So I'm thinking that Umar is going to be ready to go here, and he's going to have the game plan that will allow him to find those spots against Mario where he can win minutes and bank rounds, and probably does find a finish is what I'm thinking, because I think he's got a lot to prove here. I don't think he necessarily gets another title shot off of a Mario Bautista win, Yeah. And if he's not really moving the needle with the fans by putting together, because he couldn't even fucking finish Beksat Almakhan. That was pathetic.
No, what's pathetic was when he couldn't finish Nate Maness.
Yeah, I know that too, So it's like he's going to have to start showing some urgency if he wants the UFC to give him another title shot, because frankly, he doesn't really move the needle. People know how good Umar is, but I don't think people really get that fired up for his fights, to be honest with you, unless he's fighting an exciting fighter. So, I think it's Umar, probably Umar inside the distance, I think is how he has to win this fight if he wants to get that next title shot. And because Bautista has been finished by guys not quite as good as Umar, I think it's going to be Umar finishing him.
Yeah, I'd rather bet the finish at plus 215 than lay minus 170. Minus 175 on the decision prop. And it looks like I even see minus 210 on the Nurmagomedov decision prop on one book as well. But yeah, I think he could finish Bautista. I mean, if what's his name? I forget it. Treston Jones, right? Trevin Jones?
Trevin Jones, yeah. 5-star Trevin Jones. Guam, stand up.
Oh, we got to bring Trevin Jones back. He's a fun fighter. Volkov KO 2-3. Well, let's take a look. That's the thing about the Monday show. I mean, people don't like the Monday. I get it. But we got all the props out here. Volkov KO round 3. This is horrible. Volkov KO round 3 is plus 1,600. Volkov KO round 2 is plus 1,300. Once more books open it up, you'll get massive numbers.
Yeah.
What happens if Jalton can't get Volk down easy? Well, he's probably screwed, but I think
he'd be the first person to not. I mean, nobody's ever stuffed takedowns from Jalton. It's never happened.
Yeah, it's just not a thing. Buddy of mine said, gun to my head, name an Umar via finish. Oh, but buddy of mine said, gun to my head, name an Umar win via finish. Safe to say my brains would be blown all over the wall laying the house on Umar by decision. I can name you one. Brian Kelleher.
Yeah, he destroyed him.
I can name you another one. Hani Barcelos.
Yeah.
And let me see if I can name you another one. Kelleher. Did he finish that one dude? I forget his name. I guess I can only name you two in the UFC.
He's got 3 UFC finishes, so let's find out who the other one is.
Sergey Morozov. That's what it was.
Okay. That was the debut.
Mm-hmm. I think Volkov will be 5 to 6 inches taller at face-offs. Yeah, Volkov's a big dude, man.
Yeah, he is.
He's a big dude. All right. Let's move on to the next fight. It is the co-main event. I never thought I never thought I would ever see Mackenzie Dern fighting for a title, but here we are. Here we are. We got Virna Jandiroba, our girl Virna, versus Mackenzie Dern, who I think is also I think these are two of your girls going at it here. I think you're a big fan of both these ladies. But yeah, we got Virna, 37 years old, 5'3" with a 64-inch reach. Mackenzie Dern, 32 years old, 5'4" with a 63-inch reach. Dern, 5 years younger, 1-inch height advantage and a 1-inch reach disadvantage. Virna Jandiroba, 5-0 in her last 5 fights. Decision win against Angela Hill. Decision win against Marina Rodriguez. A decision win against Rebecki Godinez. Submission win against Amanda Lemos. And a decision win against Yan Xiaonan. As far as Dern, she is 3-2 in her last 5 fights. Decision win against Angela Hill. Knockout loss to Jessica Andrade. Decision loss to Amanda Lemos. A decision win against Rebecki Godinez. And then a submission win against Amanda Hebos. So if you told me a couple of years ago that Dern would be fighting for a title and potentially being champion, I would have called you crazy. I used to be the biggest Dern hater out there, man. Like, she used to back in the day have like a 5-6% takedown accuracy. Her striking was wild and just very looping, and she's so hittable. But I think Dern's improved so much over the last couple of years, just leaps and bounds in terms of the striking. She can wrestle a little bit now. Like her takedown accuracy went from like 6% to it's now like 17%, which that's a big increase there. The striking looks so much better, and she's always had that tenacity, that willingness to kind of throw big shots, come forward. She's always had that heart, but the skills were kind of not really there. The striking really wasn't there. The wrestling really wasn't there. I think it's all starting to finally catch up for Dern, and she's now kind of forming herself into a very complete fighter. And yeah, Virna, our girl, man. 37 years old. She's showing up with the double knee sleeves, but she's the one fighter that can pull it off. She's going to take you down. She's going to control you throughout the duration of the fight. Virna's a very, very skilled fighter, and have really enjoyed watching her fight. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. It's a rematch. These two fought back, I think, in 2020, 2021-ish, and Dern won the fight. It was a very close fight. Looked very close. But as we talk about, every so often, like all rematches don't really play out the same, and I don't really expect this to. Like in that fight, it was weird. I went back and watched it. Virna Jandiroba, who is probably the second best grappler in the division behind Dern, Virna was scared to go into Dern's guard. Like anytime the fight ended up on the mat and Virna was on top of Dern, Virna would stand back up instantly. She wanted nothing to do with the ground game. And I think if she does that here, she's going to be in a lot of trouble because Mackenzie Dern, she throws hard, she hits hard. Her striking, I think at this point, her striking is a lot better than Virna Jandiroba's. Virna Jandiroba wants kind of like a slower paced, tit for tat striking fight, whereas Dern's going to come forward like a madman type thing. So I think for Virna to have success this time around, she's probably going to have to go into the fire, probably going to have to take down Dern, and it won't be hard to do because Dern will kind of welcome the takedown. So I saw this line a couple weeks ago. I saw Dern at plus money. I was like, wow, Dern's plus money. I like that. And then a couple days go by, I check again. Oh, Dern's minus 110. Okay, I like it. I better tape this one. A couple days go by. Oh, Dern's minus 125, minus 130. Oh, I better start taping it. And then when I finally get around to taping the fight, Dern's like minus 170, minus 180. So, money's poured in on Dern. Like, this is a massive line move because just like a week and a half ago, Dern was plus money. This line has flipped. And not only has it flipped, not only did Dern open up at plus 130, she's now minus 170 with money continuing to come in on her. So very curious to hear your thoughts on this fight. It's a very high-level fight, and it's pretty awesome. One of these ladies are going to be strawweight champion. I bet these ladies are both very happy that Zhang Weili moved up, because if not, none of them would be champion, because Zhang Weili would beat both these fighters probably in the same night, but one of them will be champion, Weezy.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to see who gets their hand raised here. I think it's probably going to be Mackenzie, just because I think that she's more likely to win the minutes and moments at distance striking range. I favor her cardio and I favor her durability quite a bit. The fact that she came back and won that third round against Amanda Lemos after almost dying in the second round was phenomenal. Yeah. And we've seen that there's no quit anywhere in Mackenzie Dern. And Mackenzie really only loses to strikers, if you think about it. She lost to Jessica Andrade, she lost to Amanda Lemos, and the other losses at the UFC level came to it was Ribas, Marina Rodriguez was able to keep the fight standing, and Yan Xiaonan. These are all strikers. But she can beat any grappler. She even beat Virna Jandiroba. She beat Randa Marcos. You know, she's beaten girls. Lupe Godinez is a grappler. Beat her. So I just think that because Mackenzie is probably the better striker here, and because she's probably a little bit more durable, I don't know who's necessarily going to win the minutes or moments in the grappling exchanges of this fight, but I think it's going to be very close. And I think that you don't necessarily need to be on top here to win the minutes, because both of these ladies are so active going for submission attempts. Virna is attempting 1.81 submissions per 15 minutes. She's attempted 16 submissions over 11 fights. And for Mackenzie Dern, she's attempted 16 submissions over 15 fights, and she's attempting about 1.2 submissions per 15 minutes. So I think that there will be like some striking. It'll probably be about half the fight, but I think a lot of grappling is going to happen here. And I think that Virna is the better offensive and defensive wrestler here, so that she should be the one to be able to get the takedowns and get in the top position here. But I don't know if she wants to do that, you know, because Mackenzie Dern can get sweeps and submission attempts from anywhere, whether she's on top, whether she's in a scramble, whether she's on bottom from guard. She's very dangerous everywhere. So, yeah, I'm leaning to the Dern side here, but the wider this line gets, I think we have to admit that, you know, they're both very well matched. The first fight was very close, but the difference is that Mackenzie's 32 and Virna's 37. You know, and Virna's got those knee sleeves. This is a rematch, you know, so it's like it's probably going to go to the younger fighter, the more marketable fighter. You know, a lot of people would say that Dern's better looking than Virna. I mean, I don't know about that. I don't know about all that, you know, but I do think she's the better striker, and I think that's probably where this fight gets where the separation takes place here. So I'm leaning to that Dern side.
Yeah, there's a couple of interesting spots from a betting perspective. Right now on FanDuel, they have the finish only for Dern at -176, which I think is a very, very good line. They also have the KO at +1,000, where everywhere else for Dern, everywhere else is like +300 on FanDuel. And then they also, if you're on to the Jandiroba side, they have Jandiroba by decision at +370, which is by far the best price. So FanDuel's hanging some very good lines right now for this fight.
Yeah, because it's going to be awfully hard to finish Mackenzie Dern. You know, I mean, you're not knocking her out with anything, and it's going to be really difficult to submit, you know, a multiple-time Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu world champion at the black belt level. So, yeah, I mean, like Jandiroba by a grappling-based decision at, what did you say, +375?
370, which is by far the best price out there. That's not bad.
I have 250 for Virna by decision, and that's probably the bet online price, though.
Yep.
Yeah, so 370, dude, that's a really good number, man.
It's a great number. And then, like I said, Dern KO is +1,000 on FanDuel, but only +375 on Bet Online. She hasn't got a KO yet, but maybe this could be the first time. So, yeah, I like Dern, but yeah, I'm with you in terms of like, I don't love the line now. I mean, plus money, sure. -125, sure. Now we're getting a little bit. I think it's a little bit disrespectful now to Virna Jandiroba, who does have a path, and their first fight was, you know, close to 50-50. But yeah, I'm leaning Dern. 2 grappling specialists equals a boring, low quality stand up decision. I don't think Dern's gonna let that happen. The first time was right, but now Dern's like showing aggressiveness and coming forward and letting her hands fly. So I don't think it's gonna be I don't think this fight's gonna be boring by any means. I'd be shocked if this fight was boring, to be honest.
Yeah.
I think Virna should win, but who does the UFC want to win? I mean, probably the better looking fighter, which would be Virna, right?
Yeah, probably Virna.
Yeah. I would give Dern back shots, okay? I would give Virna back shots. She'd look back at me and be like, it would be terrifying. Horrifying. What is Verna's feed score? I would be pretty shocked if Virna was on Wiki Feed, but maybe there's some. Oh, she is. Okay. Some sick people out there. Oh God, it's a bad rating.
Really?
3.17 stars. They give you 4 stars just to show up. They should give 3 stars for Virna. She must have some horrible feet. Let me take a look at these. Yeah.
Well, everything can't be perfect, you know?
Yeah. I mean, Her feet aren't even looking that bad. I think people are just hating. Like her feet don't. Okay, yeah, they're bad. Yep.
Oh, they are bad.
Yep.
She got a big toe like Shaq.
Yep. Her big toe is like, it looks like, I don't know what it looks like. It's like, yeah, it does look like Shaq's big toe. It's huge.
Good.
It's like
That's not
pointing,
good.
it's like pointing out to the right. It's like she probably should go get that checked out. No wonder she's got a 3 on WikiFeed. All right, let's check out Mackenzie. I'm guessing Mackenzie's is going to be high. Be a high score. I'm going to guess 4.7. Mackenzie Dern.
Okay.
Wow. I'm the WikiFeet master.
Yes.
4.73.
That's a great call.
There we go. Yep. Those are some great feet. If you guys are interested, they got over 600 photos of Dern's feet on there. It's a bunch of sick individuals. Over 600 photos of a female's feet is crazy. But it's the world we live in. Minus 7.5 for Mackenzie Dern. I'm not sure. Yeah, they do have those lines out. I think DraftKings has lines out too. Verna is a psycho. That she is. Never in my life would I have thought Dern would be champ, and now we're here. I'm right there with you. Hamdi al-Wahhab versus Fat Barnett equals fight of the decade. I'm not sure why that's not the co-main event. And this is. It just makes no sense. Verna got that thing on her. I don't believe that's correct. This week, I'm going to follow Wheezy's greasy foreleg. If it doesn't work, then I'm going to knock out a horse with a huge chin like you taught us, Brady. There you go. Horses are tough to knock out. You need power to do that. You need a ton of power to do that. Her toes points different directions. Oh, come on. Verna via Rob Schneider. Verna got one eye on me and one eye on Brady. Come on, guys. Come on. It's enough. It's enough. All right. It is now time for the main event. We have 462 on a Monday. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
I think the football game is potentially over. I'm not sure if it's still going. That a late game started at 10 Eastern. So I think the football game is starting to be over here. People are starting to join. Let's check the likes. We're at 85. We need 100. We're 15 away. I know it's a Monday, but we need 15 more likes by the time we head out here. So if you guys are watching the show, be sure to hit the like. If you guys are watching on the replay, be sure to hit the like and leave a comment. We do appreciate it a ton. We got to get to 100 likes. All right. Time for the main event. It is going to be Tom Aspinall going against Cyril Gane. We got Tom Aspinall, 32 years old, 6'5" with a 78-inch reach. Cyril Gane, 35 years old, 6'4" with an 81-inch reach. Aspinall, 3 years younger, 1-inch height advantage and a 3-inch reach disadvantage. Aspinall is 4-1 in his last 5 fights. Knocked out Alexander Volkov, had that injury in the Blades fight, and knocked out Marcin Tybura in the round one. Knocked out Sergey Pavlovich in round 1. Knocked out Curtis Blades in round 1. As far as Cyril Gane, he is 3-2 in his last 5 fights. Decision loss to Francis Ngannou. Knockout win against Tai Tuivasa. Submission loss to John Jones. Knockout win against Sergey Spivak. And a decision loss to Volkov in a fight they scored wrong. So, yeah, I mean, I'm not that excited about this fight, to be honest. It's hard to get excited about a Cyril Gane fight. But, I mean, this is really a fight that, I mean, if Tom Aspinall is the real deal, if Tom Aspinall is who we all think he is, not only should he be going out there and beating Cyril Gane, he should be going out there and just kind of running right through him. I mean, he's Aspinall's the second biggest favorite on the card, right behind Umar. He has just he has a significant grappling. I mean, remember when Cyril Gane made Francis Ngannou look like Khamzat Chimaev? I mean, that was ridiculous. We saw even Alexander Volkov look like Khamzat Chimaev against Gane. John Jones looked like Khamzat. Everybody's looking like Khamzat Chimaev against this guy, besides Sergey Spivak for some reason. Like, what sense is that?
Spivak didn't even train for that fight, man.
I still can't believe that. Everybody's
coming off the John Jones fight where the guy looked like an absolute white belt.
It was just, I still don't get it, but I hope they run it back one day, and I hope Spivak trains for the fight. But, yeah, I mean, Aspinall, he has power. He can knock out Gane. Aspinall has a legit BJJ black belt, good wrestling. He can take down Gane and submit him. I guess the one concern and the one thing they have to talk about is what if this fight reaches the second round? What if this fight goes over 1.5 rounds? Because Tom Aspinall is 0-2 in fights that have went past 1.5 rounds. Tom Aspinall has never seen a third round. So if Cyril Gane is able to extend this fight, it could get interesting. but he's going to have to extend it. And that's going to be hard to do. I mean, Aspinall is running through these guys. I mean, running through Curtis Blades, like that's not easy to do. Sergey Pavlovich, same thing. Marcin Tyburt, like he's running through very good fighters. Very good. Like Volkov, very good fighter.
Yeah.
So, yeah, Aspinall round one. Anything other than a round one finish, it would be disappointing to me. So give me Aspinall here. I think he gets it done pretty easy.
I agree. I mean, like this guy is one of the most phenomenal fighters to ever step in the cage in any weight class.
Yeah.
His run at the UFC level has been mind-blowing. 9 fights, 18 minutes.
That's crazy. That's insane.
And I mean, like, dude, the records of the guys that he's beaten, Brady, you sum up the records, they're 84 and 58.
Yeah.
You could take the best, toughest, biggest knockout artists, biggest grapplers, toughest UFC heavyweights in the division, and Tom Aspinall is shaving their asses in about 60 to 120 seconds every time. It's crazy. How easy this guy makes it look, how fast his hands are. When he gets to the ground, he's insta-subbing these guys. He's 100% on his takedowns at the UFC level. He's winning 99.7% of the control time positions in his fights. And while fights are at distance striking range, he's outlanding his opponent 6.1 to 3.8. He's landed 5 knockdowns and absorbed 0. And he's finished all 8 of his wins in an average time of 2 minutes. There's no weak spots anywhere. You'd have to go back to fight tape that's 9 years old.
Yeah.
You know, to poke holes in this guy's game. And he was talking about how after he lost to Blades when he blew out his knee, I read an interview with him where he was talking about how that knee had hindered him for 5 years. And when he said that now I'm actually going to be the best version of myself because I was fighting on one leg my whole career, he said.
Wow.
Can you imagine that? And that's after the Blades fight. And then look what he's done.
Yeah.
How many seconds did it take for him to starch all these hoes?
Not long, man.
Marcin Tybura, 73 seconds. And then Pavlovich, he's like 73 is too long. I'm going to do it quicker. So he did it in 69 seconds. And then he was like 69 seconds is entirely too long. I'm going to get Curtis Blades out of there in 60 seconds.
Ridiculous.
He's landed a knockdown in all but 3 fights. Somehow he didn't knock down Alan Badeau, but he took him down.
Oh, he took him down and pounded him out.
Yeah, I mean, it's crazy the way that this guy. I mean, the person who lasted the longest was Andrei Arlovsky.
Yeah,
you know, gave him a vet lesson and lasted 6 minutes and 9 seconds with him before getting insta-tapped once it went to the ground. So yeah, I mean, if Ciryl Gane can keep this thing at range and be hard to find and use lateral movement and feints and you know, jabs to keep him at a range and frustrate him. I mean, all bets are off if this goes past 7.5 or 8 minutes. For somebody that's built like Aspinall, it's hard to picture him having good cardio because he's not like the natural athlete I think that Ciryl Gane is. But, you know, Cyryl's going to have to not get hit, and that's going to be really difficult against a guy with 60% distance striking accuracy who takes no damage and who can get you down to the mat if he wants to and finish you there. So, yeah, Tom Aspinall, I don't think there's a human being on the planet that's ready to beat this guy right now.
No, I kind of think this is a stupid fight. Like, they couldn't find anybody else. You know, I mean, I would like to see Jailton Almeida versus Tom Aspinall.
That would be interesting, yeah.
That would interest me quite a bit.
Because there's at least a path to victory there for Jailton.
Yeah.
It may not be viable, but there's a path.
I would like to see Pereira. He's talking about coming up to heavyweight. We could see an Aspinall Pereira in the future. I think that would be cool.
Aspinall would take him down easily and finish him. You know,
yeah, exactly. But other than that, there's not really many interesting matchups. Like, you can't give him Sergey Spivak. He already killed Spivak. He already destroyed Volkov. He's already destroyed a lot of these guys.
Yeah, who's left?
No, nobody. I guess
Almeida.
Yeah, Almeida's probably the last one.
And then maybe if some 205er moves up, I mean, if Azamat Mzakanov keeps getting away with this shit, maybe he moves up to heavyweight and starches gas. But I don't know, man. This should be Tom.
Yeah, if it's not Tom, I would be very disappointed. I'd be very, very, because if Tom loses this fight, everything I thought about Tom would just be wrong. Like, he shouldn't be losing to Cyril Gane. It just shouldn't happen. So yeah, we got props out. We got Aspinall minus 400, Gane plus 300. So what I find very interesting is the over-under set at 1.5. Money's coming in on the over, which I don't really get it. I know it's a 5-round fight, but Aspinall's had plenty of 5-round fights that have finished in a minute. And I get, Gane, he's probably going to try his best to, avoid the fight. But at the end of the day, Tom Aspinall's probably going to find him and probably going to either knock him out or take him down and sub him. So I don't know. I mean, if you're liking the over, you probably should be betting the Gane money line. But yeah, under 1.5 is plus 116. I don't hate that. I mean, Aspinall's literally never been over yet in the UFC. Maybe like a fight won't start round 3 type thing. And then we have Aspinall by KO is plus 110. Aspinall by sub at plus 260. Gane by decision plus 1100. That's probably how he wins. Maybe a late finish. They have the fight doesn't go at minus 1,000 on FanDuel, minus 600 on Bet Online. Yeah, for me, it's Aspinall, and it's Aspinall probably round 1, maybe early round 2 type thing.
Yeah, man. I mean, like, dude, if you think about it, if this fight went to round 3, it would be more time than Aspinall has fought in the UFC thus far.
That's crazy.
In 9 fights, this guy's got 18 and a half minutes.
It's crazy.
Halfway through round 3, you've basically gotten to the entire octagon time that Aspinall has had up here over 9 fights where he's won 8 of them. So, yeah, it's probably, I think that under 1.5 at plus money, man. I mean, like, that feels like the right play, because if Aspinall's minus 400,
yeah,
and this guy's finished every fight under 7.5 minutes, I mean, well, then he should be able to do the same thing here. That's what you're predicting. So, yeah, I kind of like the under here.
Yeah, agreed. Want to see Gane survive 1.5 rounds. Aspinall might have a bad gas tank, and yeah, that's the big question. And that's why I think if money's coming on the over, like, money should probably be coming in on Gane.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Aspinall round 1 is a must bet for me. He's been hungry for this fight he's probably been hungry to fight for a while. He probably has been. I mean, the whole John Jones situation kept Aspinall on the shelf for how long? So
14 months.
Yeah.
And it's 10 months for Cyril Gane.
Yeah. What if Gane wins? Well, that would stink. I don't want Gane as I don't want this dude as a champion. I'm not a big fan of Cyril Gane. Maybe I'm crazy, but I could see Gane. Yeah, Gane could do remember that one dude, that one bum that showed up to fight.
Was it Treston Vines?
Yeah, Treston Vines. Remember he was on his bike the whole time. Just not even anywhere near the center of the cage. We could see that. If you're Gane, just skirt on the outside for 7.5.
Basically running.
It was so weird. I had an under bet in that fight. I was like, no, he's running away. That was the closest we've ever seen somebody running away in a fight. But I don't blame him. I don't blame Gautier. I don't blame him. I wouldn't blame Gane if he tried to run away from Tom Aspinall for 25 minutes. Bring back Budai to fight Aspinall. I don't know why Budai got cut, but that probably wouldn't end well. And it was always Aspinall by early finish. I think, keep it simple. Keep it simple. Aspinall by early finish. All right. We did it, Wheezy. Now it's time we got to bounce back. I mean, last week the parlay went up in flames. Danny Barlow couldn't get it done. The South Florida sun for Santos was too much. The piping of the week, although, we didn't pick it. The chat picked it. Yeah. Still, we want to get that back. And then the milking of the week was our worst milking pick to date. I don't think we've picked. I mean, I guess Umar C against Alonzo, that was pretty bad, but I don't think it gets much worse than RDR. So we got to get back on track. So a lot of spots sticking out, potential parlay pieces. I think we both love Amorim as a parlay piece. We could probably throw her in there at minus 400, although chalky. We both like it quite a bit.
We could find a nice total.
Yeah. I know we both liked Gilton, but has some risk to that.
Yeah.
Uh,
If he was, I mean, like he is. So what do they got? They got the under 1.5 at minus 105, right?
mm-hmm.
And if Gilton wins, that's how he wins.
Yeah.
I mean, dude, this guy got submitted with a straight armbar
Yeah. Yeah.
against Aspinall. I mean, like if you're giving up a straight armbar to Aspinall, I mean, like Gilton can get your back and finish you.
Yep. No, I like it. I like violence in that fight a lot, actually.
So if we were to parlay that under 1.5 rounds in the Volkov Almeida fight with this week's milking / pegging of the week, which would be minus 400 Jacqueline Amorim, that's a plus 144.
Yep.
Parlay. I think that's a pretty good number.
I like it because we're getting a better price on Gilton in his most likely win condition. And if it turns out Volkov can stuff takedowns, Volkov potentially knocks him out type thing. Yeah. So yeah, I like the under. If you want to get even safer, the fight won't start round 3 as well. No line on that yet, but I like that as well. So yeah, that's the parlay of the week: the under in the Gilton fight, and then the Amorim money line. So yeah, you kind of broke it here. The UFC 21 pegging of the week. I'll put pegging / milking.
Yeah.
Because there's really no other option for the milk of the week. I mean, it's Jacqueline Amorim to peg. And we'll do peg and or milk. Mizuki Inoue this Saturday. So that's the milking / the first ever pegging of the week. Because I don't know. I mean, I think somebody potentially could get milked in the Dern Jandiroba fight. I guess Umar could potentially milk Bautista. Gilton could potentially milk Volkov. I guess Gilton would be the other one, but I mean, it's got to be Amorim, right?
Yeah, I think it's Amorim just because, like, when I watched Virna fight Mizuki, I could not believe how bad Mizuki's takedown defense was. And like I said, that fight took place in 2018, and the announcers were talking about how she had already had both knees reconstructed before that fight. Which, and since that fight, she's had at least 2 or 3 more knee surgeries. And this young lady started fighting professionally at the age of 16, and she's 31 now. So I just think that, I mean, a stiff wind is going to blow her over at this point. I don't think she can get from the bed to the turlet without falling down.
She's going to come in there with that peg leg, that pirate leg with the eye patch. It's going to be bad, man. All right. Now it is time for the piping of the week, and a lot of close to line fights, right? I think there's going to be some pipings. Like there could definitely be a piping in the Al-Saadi Camilo fight. Might be a piping in the Klein Rebecki fight. There might be a piping in the Rakic Mzakanov fight potentially, but I'm not confident in any of these guys. I mean, Gilton, I think it'd be more like a milking. Aspinall, potential piping. I don't know. What do you think? I mean, there's not really a ton of potential pipings on this card.
I think it's Aspinall.
Yeah, I think it had to be.
This guy's in and out. He fights like he's triple parked, and then he's on his way to the airport to catch a plane.
Yeah, I think it's got to be Aspinall.
I think so too, man. I mean, I'd be surprised if Cyril Gane could go out there and fight the perfect fight and keep this guy at bay and not get hit.
Yeah. On site this Saturday at UFC 321. All right. I put milking, piping. I mean, Aspinall might be able to milk him, but it's probably a piping. The piping of the week: Tom Aspinall to pipe Cyril Gane on site this Saturday at UFC 321. There you have it.
Love it. We did it.
We did it. We got the piping, the parlay, the milking. Let's go 3-0. Colby saying Almeida milking, Aspinall. We got the piping. Almeida milking. I can see that one as well.
Yeah,
I can see that one as well. Father like in Bautista. Hamdi is going to milk Barnett. Unfortunately, in the milk there will feed a village. Okay. All right. Which fight this week will end, then start round 2? There's going to be one. I think it's probably the Hamdi fight. Because I'm going to have a bet on like Hamdi ITD. And he's probably going to finish Barnett with a couple seconds left. The fight's going to stop, and they're going to be like, okay, let's bring him back out. Hamdi wins a greasy decision. That's probably the Hamdi fight. That gets stopped and restarted, right? Probably. Or the Walker fight. Or the Walter Walker fight where Sutherland maybe phantom taps. Maybe the ref stops it and is like, oh, never mind, he didn't tap. We could see it there. It's going to happen, though, right? It's got to happen.
The old Brazilian tap.
Yeah. Yeah. Serial doesn't pull a William. Doesn't Serial pull a William Knight in every fight?
Oh, he can be tough to find, man. You got to go out there and find him, man. He's not going to come to you.
Yeah, I think Aspinall will find him. I think I'll track him down and
Yeah.
find him there. But yeah, we did it. All that's left is letting the people know where they can find you and get any special plans, any live guest appearances for a pretty good card this week.
Yeah, not this week actually, man. I'm gonna be just doing my stuff this week for my Odd Shopper subscribers, as well as going live on my channel Uncle Wheezy on YouTube on Friday afternoon, probably maybe Thursday night. But yeah, you can check me out on oddshopper.com. The probability stats and content package has all these stats that you see here on the screen. My fight write-ups, my subscriber-only content, all that stuff for $25 a month. It's the best way to support my work. Hit that thumbs up on your way out. Hit that subscribe here. Leave us a comment. And let's stack cashed tickets like flapjacks. Turn things around on this card for UFC 321. This is a great card, Brady. I'm looking forward to watching it and betting on it.
Great card. Great card. I don't like that it's in Abu Dhabi. I feel like we can get some shenanigans for sure. I want to go back to Vegas, man. I'm sick of the shenanigans and with these commissions, but early start time. Fights are kicking off at, I think, 9 o'clock your time.
Oh,
So,
wow.
Yeah, very early start time. So that's kind of cool. I like when fights are over early. Gives you time to get into the next card or hang out with friends or family type thing. So yeah, looking forward to it. Yeah, I think my prediction video will be coming out maybe Tuesday, tomorrow, maybe Wednesday. I want to look into a couple more fights. But yeah, a lot of sticking out from a betting perspective, early in the week. So hopefully, make the bets. Hopefully the bets win, and hopefully I don't lose a winning bet this week. I can't take it. I seriously can't take it. I don't want to see Dan Miragliotta's punk ass in the cage. I really don't. I don't want to see Herzog. I don't want to see any of them. Hopefully they have like some local referees or something, because I don't want to see either one of them right now. I just can't take it right now. So, yeah. Anyway, thank you guys for hanging out. We had a great crowd for a Monday show. Best of luck for UFC 321, and we'll talk to you guys soon. See you later.